Yes. Is a witchcraft attempt caught on camera towards a street preacher.
You're going to need it. You are going to need whoa.
Yes.
It's so Christian, you should handle people. It's so Christian to be nice.
What's your name? What's your name? That's me. I just feel uneasy. Well, it's fine.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa, what do you mean? Whoa. Some.
Yeah, I know.
You dabbling in something God hasn't told you to dabble in?
Yeah.
You need to repent. I'm going to read your scripture. No. I know what you're trying to do. And we rebuke this in the name of Jesus. We do not condone.
Okay, so I'm an ex-witch. This is a witch handshake. I will never tell you guys how to do this, but if you look here, I've blurred out the bit where, you know, the actual witchcraft is. Yes, this is a very well-known spell amongst witches. It's in pretty much every single spell book and every single forum. So first of all, when she approaches the street preacher feels it immediately in his discernment and he's like, whoa, okay, so that's how much you'll sense witchcraft on someone. That reservation he had there not to touch her hand was the Holy Spirit. Now, this lady is not on her own. If you hear in the background someone is shouting, oh, it's not very Christian of you not to shake somebody's hand. So that's that provoking spirit, the taunting spirit that's going to try and make him shake her hand. Because remember, the devil needs permission for these things. And the witch's handshake is an agreement as well, okay? So you are actually extending yourself out and shaking her hand. Now, in the video, she says some, okay? Now, usually what this is referring to is the actual sun. So she would have been a witch that probably worships the elements, more particularly fire elements. And if you look at the way that she presents,
okay, I posted, that lady in the week with that post, and I got comments, and the comments were not great. Now, I just want to make something very, very clear to everybody, okay? Because we discuss an awful lot on the program, and I discuss an awful lot, on social media about witchcraft, and also I discuss a lot of stuff which is more arcane, Dogman, magic, stuff which is unexplained, paranormal, supernatural. But I just want to make it clear, I'm not down hating witches. I'm not. Okay? It's just not my thing. I don't. Now, I said to the person that gave me the comment saying basically that I should be ashamed to have posted that. I just want to explain something. What that lady was talking about does happen. Okay? They are, and it is something which happens in witchcraft where they can attach and they can tag people. They do. They have, and they will. It goes with the territory. And I stand by that. And if you are a witch, I'm sure you'll understand that it does happen. So that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm down hating witches. I would never be a witch because I'm a Christian. And that brings me on to another comment. I was told that, Phil, I'm a witch and I'm a Christian. Well, you may have been Christian and then become a witch. That's fine. But from a practicing point of view, it's miles apart and you can't do it. Just can't do it. To explain it, I mean, Christianity and witchcraft cannot be combined because they represent two different operating systems. Christianity is a path of submission to the divine, the will of God. While witchcraft is a path of personal empowerment and the manipulation of spiritual forces, whether that be nature forces or other forces. Now, to a traditional Christian, you cannot serve two masters. Christianity is I always get this word wrong, all right? So forgive me if I do, all right? Because I am dyslexic. Monophysetic. I'm going to be, I know everyone's going to go, yeah, we got that totally right. Monophysetic, faith basically means it's its own exclusive devotion. Okay, it demands its own exclusive devotion, basically. All right. Mixing it up with other spiritual practices is historically referred to as syncretism. I hope I got that right as well. As I say, dyslexic. Now, you can't mix the two together. Now, you very well may be or have been Christian, but now you're a witch. So look, you can't use the names of angels in witchcraft. You can't use the symbolism in witchcraft, and vice versa. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so when people say, look, I'm a Christian, and no. Not if you're practicing. Just wanted to get that clear the air. I understand probably bring on some flack, a lot of flack. That's fine, but I just wanted to clear the air, and I think I stand by that. Okay, right. It is time.
This is not a dream.
Phil walks the tree line when the sun goes down. Boots in the gravel on the edge of town. Backpack rattles with a lantern and a map, looking for the things that never make the trap. Old folks whisper when they see him pass. Boys been chasing shadows in the midnight grass. But Phil just smiles at the cold night air, 'cause something out there knows he's there. In the rustle of leaves, in the creak of the pine, in the fog where the footprints twist the line. He's the Dogman, TP hunter, roaming through the night, chasing gold Back bent branches where the tall grass sways. Heard something breathing in the forest haze. Every dusty road and every haunted bed holds another secret he's about to defend. And when the fire burns low and the coyotes sing, you can bet he's hunting something strange again. Through the static and dark, through the myth and the lore, there's a howl in the hills he can't ignore. He's the Dogman, TP hunter, roaming through the night, chasing ghostly echoes in the pale moonlight. From forgotten forests to the deserts deep, where the old bones hide and the spirits creep. With a camera and courage and a trail to see, he'll follow any legend through eternity. Yeah, the world's full of whispers most folks never see, but they all know Phil. But they all know Phil. Maybe it's a shadow, maybe something real, maybe ancient footprints only he can feel. But the truth lives somewhere past the tree line bend, and Phil won't stop until the very end. He's the Dogman, TP hunter, roams into the trail, following the stories in the midnight gale. Ghosts in the rafters and beasts in the pines, calling out his name through the ancient signs. And if you hear a howl where the campfires be and a lantern swinging through the cedar trees, that's a hunter chasing mysteries. That's Phil, running wild and free.
Good. Right. Oh, hang on. Oh, there we go. That's better. Right. I shall get on the Gothic goddess of YouTube. Hello.
Not very gothic today.
A bit of Gothic. A little bit.
I dyed my fringe and my hair seems to have gone a little bit like I'm not quite sure. Was it Christopher Walken? I can't remember which film he was in where his hair's sticking up like that.
Oh yeah.
I can't think which film it is, but that's how I feel at the moment. It just won't behave itself.
Yeah, you got a couple of horns going on there.
I have. It's just like maybe it's the wind outside. Actually, it's just making.
Blame it on the wind. Blame it on the wind.
Yeah, it's been terrible the last couple of days. But,
yeah. How you been?
Windswept.
Yeah. We haven't spoken very much. We haven't really spoken that much, have we? People think at home that we're kind of constantly sort of like chatting. We're not. We don't really chat,
don't we? It depends how busy we are as well and how much we've got to do, to be fair. But
yeah, it does. But every now and then, we sort of like sort of have a good chin wag. But this week's been a bit. It's been busy. Just like kind of, I don't know. It's not just work. It's also kind of life, like the car needs an MOT soon, so got to get that sort of organised. That's going in tomorrow, funny enough. So hopefully the big fella, please get it passed. That'd be great. I do
that every time my car's due an MOT. About 2 weeks out, I'm like, thank you, angels, thank you for helping me with the car.
Yeah.
MOT
Yeah,
being easy.
yeah, yeah. Do you
Not
talk
just
to your
me.
car? Have you named your car?
This car has a name, but I didn't name it. I had a dream. I had a dream
Okay.
about it, and its name is Rue. So I was like, fair enough. So that's what I call it now. But I never have talked to my cars. Some of my cars, my first car had a name, but I can't remember what I called it. And my other cars didn't so much. And this one's only got a name because I had the dream about it. And I think I got a letter about it, and it was from Rue. And don't ask me. So I was like, I might as well roll with it. But yeah, I mean, I do talk to it sometimes. It depends whether it's behaving or not. Really.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. Yeah. If it's not behaving, it's like kind of
yeah, a little bit. I try not to do that just in case I upset it. I do tend to personify things, but as I think I've said before on a podcast, or I can't even remember, I might be talking to someone, I only personify some things. So some things seem to have a personality, and I will interact with them as if they have a personality, and then other things are just objects. So I'm a bit peculiar. Like
yeah.
that. But yes, so some of my cars have had more personality than others. So it's I did have one car with a dragon on top of it. It was quite strange, and then I spun it and almost into a ditch. It was a really bad corner. It was well known for it. And it was
wait a minute. Let's roll back a little bit.
What?
You had a car with a dragon on top of it. Well, did that come with the car? Did you have to pay extra for that, or?
I don't know. No, I didn't have to pay extra for it. I think it came to the car after I bought it, and it used to sit on the top. And it's like, because I've had dragons around most of my life on and off anyway, so it's like and it was a very sort of happy looking car, and it had a dragon on it, and it was like, this is a bit weird. And then I spun it into a ditch by accident because it was a bigger car than I was used to, and I went round this really bad corner, which would have been all right in my little hatchback, but in this it just spun out the back. And after that, the dragon disappeared. So I'm assuming it was just there to stop me getting hurt, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. You're saying it like it's like kind of like an everyday normal thing, which is fine. I get that. But
To me,
it's got a dragon on it. Like, what?
I used to have dragons guarding me at night. It's like the house I used to live in before. I used to have dragons. And my sister, she didn't know I used to do this. I used to ask the Dragon Lord for dragons every night to keep me safe. And she didn't know this. And one day she was trying to send me healing, and a dragon got in the way, and she had to ask for permission to send me healing. And then she said to me the next day, oh, you know, I had a dragon get in the way. And I was like, oh, yeah, they're there every night just watching my space. And she didn't know that. So I was like, so there must have been a dragon there. So I wasn't imagining it. So no, it's like, but I am a Yang fire dragon astrology sign, so as well. So I've always had like a dragon. When people say what spirit animal, I always say dragon.
After months and months and months talking to you, I can see that 100%.
I know people think that because I'm a horse person, I'm horse-like, but my personality is quite deer-like in that I will hide, avoid, and, you know, generally don't like being seen. But if you really annoy me, you will see a dragon. It's like, but I am a Yang fire dragon, believe it or not. So I'm a Cancerian water sign and a Yang fire dragon. So you can only imagine what my head's like with those opposing elements in them. But so it's an interesting mix.
Yeah.
But so now that I sound like I'm completely crazy.
Well, just to let you know, I'm Sagittarian, so I'm half man, half horse. I won't tell you what part's the horse.
I was going to say, I'm not even asking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's my birthday's in December, beginning of December. I will let you know on social media, but always remember, a good friend told me this, okay, and I stick with it. I only accept presents if they're wrapped. And if you're going to start sort of slinging it in one of those Prezi bags, and here
Oh
you go,
God, the
Phil.
bags.
No. I
Yeah,
want a bit of effort.
no, I
I want
hate
a
that.
bow. I want a bow.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it's wrapped in a present bag, then that's fine. But just chucking in a present bag, that's not a present, is it? It's
No,
just something
it's
in
not
a
a present.
carrier
No, I
bag,
want a bit of
basically.
effort. I want a
Yeah,
bit of
it's like
sweat
a
and blood in
glittered
there.
carrier bag. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah, exactly. Good. I'm pleased we agree. Right. Do we agree? I think it's about time we ought to bring our guest on if he's ready. If it looks like he is ready. So I think we shall bring our guest on. We're very, very lucky because this guy has a wealth of knowledge. He is a very, very good, dedicated paranormal researcher, first and foremost. Okay. And you want to check out his equipment. Oh, there's another pun there. So anyone watching Benny Hill will go, oh, well, Phil really jinxed it. No, it's paranormal equipment before you start giggling. Okay, so I'm going to bring up Matt Hornick. Let's have a look. Hello, Matt.
Hi. I just want to say one thing, Natalie. I named all my cars. I talked to them. I even had someone drive me down to visit my car because the transmission's out. And I talked to my car and told her to be okay. So about it.
I do that when I send it in for the MOT, and maybe it will sort of like, you know, you know. Usually I end up just having to behave yourself. It's like,
and I talk to the spirit of the house too, and the spirit of the house will present stuff to me if I'm in trouble. And like, you know, so it's like you are right on.
Oh, good. It's not just me then. One of my jobs, I clean a house for it's kind of like a friend of a friend, and their house is an old, I think it's Edwardian, and I swear sometimes, like there was one day I turned up to clean, the family were out and it would not let me in the door. And it's like, and I was like, you know, it doesn't want me to clean it today. Went home, the family came back, wouldn't let them in either. And then and then about an hour later, the lady of the house came home and the door opened straight away. And I was like, and I said, yeah, I had a feeling the house just didn't want me in that day. And I get it with some of the doors in the rooms as well. Some days they'll open really easy and I'm like, oh, I'm allowed in there now. And then other days they won't open. So I go and clean somewhere else and come back and then they just open really easy. It's quite, so it's like, so and I thought I was a little bit crazy for thinking that, but at least it's not just me. But
I hear voices talk to me all the time, so it's like I also think I'm schizophrenic. You know, so yeah, and it's like, well, I have an ancestral altar with graveyard dirt and such, and I collect ghosts, which a lot of times they'll come with me, and they just want somebody to remember them and whatnot. So it's like, you know, like it's just one of those things, you might say. It's weird, it's crazy, I know, and a lot of my brothers in the lodge probably wouldn't understand or approve. But how weird is life? And how deep does the rabbit hole go?
Yeah, it's like with Phil saying earlier when I was saying, like, you know, it sounds like an everyday thing to say I've got a dragon on the car, but to me it is every day. Well, not literally every day, but it's just there all the time. It's like, you know, some days I notice it more than others, but I am immersed in it. It's just the world. So I find it strange when people say, how do you get into the paranormal? Because it's like it's just there.
See, that's what people don't understand. Like they ask, like Phil and his whole thing being a Christian witch. I mean, no, you really can't be a witch and a Christian. But like, I come from West Virginia or Flintstone, Maryland, up near the Appalachian Mountains. We're like right, like 2 miles from West Virginia. Like our farm is right on the PA line. Like our nearest neighbor was like 2 miles away growing up. It's all deep mountains, valleys. Grandpa was a water witch, could take dowsing rods and find water, tell you how deep it was. You know, my grandmother, like, you get a cut, she'd put her hand on it, recite a Bible verse, and the blood would stop. And they had like all different kind of soak magic with like rubbing potatoes on warts and just stuff of that nature. And like somebody's pregnant, they would wrap red thread around an egg and put it in the fire, and the way it broke would be determine if it's boy or girl or if it's going to be healthy or not. Just a lot of folk magic traditions. Of course, I'm in Pennsylvania, which is famous for the Amish and all their hex signs, and they have like all different kinds of like their quilt blankets and stuff you buy. They weave magic into the blanket. The symbolism in the blanket is the act of protection. Is it any different than what the Vikings did with the runes?
Yeah, I don't think it is, though, is it really? It's just a way of petitioning the gods for blessings or whatever you want to ask.
Oh, yeah, but that's all even runes is, isn't it?
Yeah.
They each represent a power, and the symbolism of each rune is basically representation of an archetype of power. Like Izawat, being the stability, Fehu, controlled fire. They all represent a force or power. Same thing with the hex signs. Yeah,
that is true. I mean, symbolism. I was quite interested in sigil magic for a little while, and it's I can't remember what the guy's name that I read the book. I think it was Jan de Vries. And he was saying about sort of free-forming the sigils and sort of like concentrating the energy in. And I was like you say, and that's when I started to understand that the symbolism was like a gateway to access, particular energies. And like you say, with the runes, each one corresponds with a different kind of energy or vibration or intent. So it's like each one that you sort of connect to activates that sort of particular energetic or power, or I don't really know how to describe whatever you want to call it. I find the idea of symbolism quite interesting, and how it does connect to the subconscious as well, because the subconscious is a very symbolic thing. It's interesting.
Jung is one of my favorite psychiatrists.
Oh, I love Jung. Yes.
I mean, I always wanted Freud, a psychiatrist like Freud. Give me cocaine hookers. But, I got Nietzsche. Nietzsche's the one who's most relatable to me, unfortunately. I have to be an Uberman, gotta find meaning in nothing. Why can't I just have a good dream and write down what I see and it'd be something wonderful? But no.
That's always the way, isn't it? But I have to admit, when people say, who would you like to meet from history? And I always said I'd love to speak to Carl Jung. It's like I would just love to have a conversation with him, because I always assumed that he was quite a stable person, but when I was reading his memoirs, he's actually quite I don't know what the word for it is, but intense, maybe, I don't know. And I was like, and he would even admit that himself, and I was like, I would love to meet him just for that vibe, I bet he was quite an interesting guy.
I imagine. Something you should consider, even Maslow, because I often thought I'd love to meet Maslow, because he had to be one cold person just to do the whole hierarchy of needs, just have everything just analyzed such, like, this is what a person needs, this is what a person doesn't need, and just rank everything. Like, a lot of the behavioralist studies, it's like, when you stop and look at some of these people, like, they all were nuts. Like Freud, nuts. Libido theory, like nuts. We got subjective analysis from him, but it's all about sex with him. You had Jung, all about the metaphysical. He was actually an occultist and whatnot. All very deep thoughts, philosophies. Nietzsche, just, oh my God, where do I start with Nietzsche? I mean, staring into the abyss stares back into you. And like the whole Death of God essay he had was like awesome. But to think that and to actually write that, he must have been nuts. Like, I mean, could you imagine his depression?
Yeah.
I struggle with depression. Could you imagine Nietzsche's level of depression? Like Gulag or Capello plus 10,
I suppose that's how we got the philosophizing out of it. It was in some ways a way of dealing with it. By philosophy, because very often you tend to find this, don't you? Like with Phil was asking me about goth, and everyone assumes that goth is sort of like miserable. I said, but we just sort of see the beauty in melancholy and the dark, not necessarily, bad, evil things, but just the dark side of things.
Yeah.
It's very deeply philosophical, really, if you think about it. It provokes a lot of thought.
Well, stop, think about it. You have vampire goth, you have punk goth, you have that crazy pink goth now, which is,
Oh God, yeah.
which I'm not sure where that came from. I was in a goth phase at one time, walking around with mirrored black contact lenses, all black with a big pentagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you would have thought that, oh my God, he's like a high-level Satanist. Like, no, I just came from a Slayer concert. Oh, I can't hear you. What? The music is not good enough unless the speakers are puffing your clothes backwards when they're drumming,
Like vibrating your chair across the room.
Because I've been to 3 Ozfests, so.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Ozzy Nissan Pavilion twice in Columbus, Ohio once. And oh my word, you want to talk about a party. I mean, it was a great time. But there again, like the thing is, it's like with goth culture is the embrace of knowing everything ends and dies. And it's like the embrace of the beauty in the darkness. Like there's that one cathedral, I forget the name of it, but they designed it so it's the light coming down to the dark. Everybody loves a beautiful cemetery.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, I miss the old style cemeteries. Like the modern ones are just so.
Well, the modern ones are not consecrated normally. They're just basically dumped in there. Like you can feel it when the ground's consecrated. You just know. If you ever get to this side of the pond, I'll take you to Wildwood Cemetery. It's awesome. I've been up there a couple times now. It is crazy, actually. It's just huge. There's a banshee that supposedly haunts it. There's fairy rings and fairies and such.
Oh, wow.
People think that fairies and other type of nature spirits are only in Europe, but there's quite a few of them here in America as well.
Okay.
People some they don't realize. And the Fae are not exactly friendly, but they're not exactly hostile. But they are extremely dangerous.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, like if you listen to fairy tales and folklore, there is never a completely benign fairy tale.
Don't give them your name.
So that should be a warning, shouldn't it, really?
Well, there's this place out in the middle of nowhere. There's a pioneer town. It's gone. And it's called Pioneer Cemetery. It's about an hour and a half from here. And it's like deep woods, Boy Scout camp. Like you could, if you got lost, you would not find your way out. Like America is huge. Like you guys could drive like 2-3 hours and be out of your country. Like here, you could drive all day and still have like multiple days. And there's this vast areas of America that's just basically empty. Like there's Bigfoot up there, and you actually see like more of a Phil thing, the cryptids. But like there's literally stuff in the mountains and the caves that are unexplained, of the old world. You see food lights, and you can have things call your name and stuff, try to lure you away from the group or the path. Almost will-o'-the-wisp like. I think Kyle, who's one of my prodigy, he actually hunts cryptids, and he's planning an expedition to go get the Grassman, which is another type of Yeti. And then in Blue Mountain Paranormal, we have another guy who specializes in Bigfoot hunting. Okay. He goes all the time.
So what's the Grassman? I've not heard of. You said Grassman, didn't you?
Yes. It's out in like Wyoming, I think, or Ohio.
Okay.
It's kind of like a Bigfoot, but it's in the plains rather than actual. They're smaller, faster.
Okay.
Not big and hulking like the ones here in the mountains.
Oh wow! No, I've not heard of that one before. I'll have to look that one up.
We often call them over here. They've got a name of wood booger.
Have you ever
thinner? They're thinner, much quicker, and they're not as big as a Bigfoot is. It's not as broad as big. It's more slight. It's a slighter build frame. But yeah, if you could imagine, if you could imagine like a missing link, a proper missing link, which we are missing. There is a between Neanderthal man and Homo sapien. That would be it. The wood booger. That's how it looks. It's very human indeed, in stature, and how it looks. Just very, very hairy,
Have you ever thought that the Sasquatch and other types of creatures are actually trolls? They're the trolls in lore.
Yeah.
It goes back even to like longest times out of mind.
Mm.
Because if you hear about the Picts over in Ireland before, the Anglos and North, like, because Ireland and all that just had wave after wave of people coming in and take over, but they lived in caves and they were very primitive tool-like. So it's like, why couldn't they have a more advanced set of like apes that were called trolls, and it would have been all throughout Europe?
I have to ask Mary about that, because in the Netherlands, because she said there weren't really cryptids over there. But if you actually I have to put that theory to her and see if the folklore matches up, because that's an interesting idea.
They live in caves.
Yeah.
They hide under bridges. They basically jump out and attack you, and they'll steal stuff. What does Bigfoot do? It hides in caves or their little grass huts they build. They basically will chuck stuff and throw stuff at you, and you don't really see them that often. And then if they do attack you, then you're pretty much doomed. They drag you off, and there's really no fighting that. So why are they not troll-like? They're a man shape. They're intelligent. I mean, maybe not human level intelligence, but what is human level intelligence? I mean, the only thing that separates us from the animalistic is the fact that we can reason and delay self-gratification. I mean, whenever you can have trouble with having to have instant self-gratification, which is one of the problems with modern cell phone and modern era, everybody's used to having it now. Impulse control. Like, we can sit and wait. We can reason. We can look 2-3 steps ahead. Like my dog, he's pretty smart, but he doesn't, like, he knows a few steps ahead. He can get to the trash can. He can, like, I had a German Shepherd get open doors, smart as a whip, but they don't really reason on a long-term level like humans do. Like, I can plan out next week. They don't have a time sense like we do.
Yeah,
And
they tend not to be abstract thinkers, do they? Right. So they can learn, like you say, the linear process of something by observation and then like figure it out. But they tend not to have abstract thinking, as far as I can tell.
Why wouldn't that be a troll or a Sasquatch?
Yeah, well, that's a thought. It's an interesting thought. Yeah, I have to look up my folklore and see. Yeah,
if you remember, most of the elves looked human and were mistaken for human. Normally, they just basically come out of the city mouths, and you just come into them, and their mouths would be entrances and exits to the fairy realm. So why can't there be portals in America that open and shut during the moon phases and different stuff? I actually think there is. Look at Kentucky. You can type up moving forest, but it's actually documented that the trees will move up to several feet in a night. Okay. And the whole landscape will change, like, within just a few hours. I've never experienced that, but in Death Valley, when I was camping in Death Valley, you wake up the next day and the landscape is completely changed. You come out of your tent, it's like, wow, completely different.
That must be a bit of a head spin, because you can see why people get lost, can't you? Because it's like, disorientated.
The hardest part of being in the desert is water control. You hold a pebble in your mouth and suck on it. That way you don't have to drink as much water. But it's so difficult rationing your water on those type of hikes. But the desert is just an interesting place. People think it's dead and lifeless, but it's not. There's all kinds of stuff that lives there and thrives there.
Yeah, it's just not so obvious. I presume.
Mhm.
So, Natalie, what is the greatest ghost hunt you've ever been on? Tell me the greatest adventure you've been on.
To be fair, I've not really done. I've said this before. I've not really done a lot of actual ghost hunting because most of the things that have happened to me I haven't had to go anywhere. So I'd say the biggest problem I had with the paranormal was a partially possessed horse, which is what got me into most of this in the first place, to be honest, because he used to collect stuff. So I was constantly pulling stuff off of him, but he also had a quite a powerful entity attachment. So it's like, so actually going on a ghost hunt, I've not really, I've only been to 2 or 3 places, so I can't say. I mean, I've seen things everywhere I've gone, if that makes sense, because, you know, I'll see orbs and shadows, and I literally almost can't walk into any building without seeing something. So as far as ghost hunting is concerned, I don't have anything specific as yet where I can, you know, say. I mean, I was clearing someone's house once, and I narrowed down to this one room, and I was just standing just outside the room, sort of like trying to contain and clear whatever was in there. And as I got halfway through, all of a sudden, all the toys in the shelf next to me, the electric toys all went off. The little terrier that had been quiet for the last hour came running up the stairs, barking its head off. I thought it was going to bite me, but it ran past me, stood in the doorway, barking into the doorway. And I was standing there, and the ladies whose house it was just looking at me, and my brain was thinking, oh shit, this is real. And I'm not imagining it. And it's like, and that was probably the most freakiest thing I've had happen that was sort of like unexpected, because like the toys and things went off, and it was just like bizarre. Just as I'd literally got down to the crux of where the issue was. So that was an interesting one, to be fair, because I've not had that kind of manifestation to that degree, backed up by the dog as well. And, you know, and as soon as I cleared the room and settled it down, the dog just went back into the kitchen again, quiet as anything. So that was I would just say that was probably the most sort of paranormal thing I've had happen to me that I was a little uncomfortable about. Especially because I was the one that was like orchestrating this, because I was clearing the house. So I was just like, oh dear, what have I uncovered? But I think I managed to shift most of it. The biggest problem was, it's like she still had stuff from the ex-husband that had passed away, and I felt that while she got that in that house, she was always going to have some problem. But yeah, so probably not what you were expecting. Answer wise.
Actually, no. I mean, that seems pretty normal to me. Before Blue Mountain Paranormal, like I've been involved in the occult community for a long time. I've been a priest for a long time, or a preacher for quite a long time.
Okay.
I've done 2 marriages so far. I've done a few funerals. I've ran children's ministry before when I was a young man, puppet team, youth drama. I got involved in witchcraft with Coursework of Miracles, which was at the church. Then with the schisms and stuff, I ended up leaving the Mennonite and that type of like heavy works-based. Then I just sort of started, I switched to the Golden Dawn, and I've been multiple different, I don't want to say covens, but most of them were like dynamic or like Bridget and like kind of earth type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like mostly my love is, you know, like the Kabbalistic and, you know, the that whole, like my kid's mom was married to for 9 years. She actually was raised Catholic, and always had kind of a fascination with that.
Well, Catholicism.
Yeah, it just seems rather weird to me.
I always thought it was a very magical religion. It's probably out of most of the Christian, I don't know what to call them, divisions. I should think Catholicism is the closest to magic that you can get.
Well, yeah, probably. Well, I think even more than that, because you're actually calling on saints to intercede with God.
Yeah, and you've got
some of the saints are ancient deities. So
Okay.
it's like they are calling on old gods that are basically canonized as saints. Because like Catholicism came from the Church of Dagon. Church of Dagon had confessionals. You see the little fish hats. That's a Dagon thing. Like, and like our modern day Christianity is mostly came from the Druidic tradition. They changed the date of Easter, Christmas. I mean, they've added so much of the paganism to Christianity to attract Christians.
Yeah.
So what is the true like nature of Christianity? And like we were talking about that at the lodge there last night. Whenever we had the regional people come in, and they had like a big ceremony and pomp. And like, I can't wait to say a whole lot about the Masonic stuff because I'm under oath about it. But I feel like in a lot of ways, it has become much like the Methodist Church. It's all rote and like they've not done a good job passing it down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they still like they've got a lot of dogma, is it?
Well,
Would
it's
you
more
say?
ritual. It's more like the Methodist Church. Everything's done a certain way.
Okay.
Everything is very ritualized.
Mhm.
And it's a good thing. I really enjoy it. I just don't think that they actually like. I think they've lost sight that they want to make good men better. And I think they're actually trying to go back to that. One of my biggest things is they are aging out. And once they die, we lose vast amounts of knowledge because it's all committed orally. So
That is the trouble with an oral tradition. If there's no one to pass down if there's no one to pass down the tradition to, you lose so much.
And they've kept themselves as their own little social clique.
Yeah,
And
that
they
doesn't
didn't
help.
really recruit or bring people in. Now they're bringing people in, and there's only a few young ones like me. I'm young, which younger ones there, and I'm 50. I'm sitting there. I love them all, and we're talking about. He's telling me about the railroad days, this and that, and the other. I'm like, like my mentor, he just got the 50 years of Masonic service medal. And I'm there like, you've been doing this for 50 years, which he knows all this kind of stuff. Wonderful man. And I love him to death. But it's like, and you've mentored a lot of people, but like, if you look around, everybody's in their 70s plus, like where are the kids, And I was basically telling them we need to send men. We don't need to send money. Like our lodge is rich. Well, I won't say rich, but like our lodge has been a continuous operation for 160 years.
Wow.
And I was at the Otterville a couple weeks ago. Like George Washington visited them before the Revolutionary War. They have a little copy of his speech and stuff. And you think they've owned the building and they've had the land and they've had the grounds for over 200 years now, almost 250 years. I mean, and it's all passed down person to, apprentice, master to apprentice, and all these traditions, and for like a very long time.
Wow. Yeah. That's quite impressive, really, isn't it? Especially out in America. It's 200 years is like
like I wasn't going to join the Masons, and then they teased me with the library, access to this one library in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I'm like, you mean I get 3 books a month and they can just send them to me and I can just mail them back? Oh, my honor. Okay, sign me up.
Is there? I don't know if are there interesting books, and I don't know if you can tell us what's in there, but are they?
I've shared with Phil. I mean, I think everybody knows, but they have like all kind of books on sacred geometry, numerology. They have like like anybody can like. As a Mason, you can they will mail them to you and you can mail them back. And you have full access to the whole collection. The public has to go there and look at them in person.
Mm-hmm. That's fair enough.
There's all manner of different stuff. Like I've been reading one about Saturn, and about Saturn is the planet of containment, and its symbol is the cube, which is 6 sides, and like everything is contained by that. Well, we'll save that for another time because that can get to a deep subject. But all of matter is contained by Saturn, and it actually is what gives the confinement. but everybody has to pass through Saturn and from Saturn when they leave this world. Because Saturn was the king of the gods, and he ate the other gods. And time is what eats everything. That's what Kronos, he's the time god. Time destroys everything. So there was a limitation put on everything. And everything has to work within the Saturnian limitations. And that is what some of the meaning of the Sator square is. Sator, opera, operos. Anyway, the world is maintained by vortices. So it's just a whole bunch of, let's put it this way, it was written over 100 years ago. They thought about it way more than I ever thought. Fascinating stuff, though.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that. I didn't want to butt in because it was like so. I've got to just to quickly recap. I'm sure you could get from New York to Los Angeles quicker than we could get around the M25. Because we've got a motorway over here called the M25, and it is basically a car park. It's not a motorway.
Really?
So, yeah, it's awful. Trolls, yeah, no, I don't think so. I'll tell you why. Because if you go originally with trolls, they were part of the environment. They would be easily mistaken to be a mountain in some countries, especially Netherlands and places. They were of rock. They were of the actual geology of that place. They were huge. The ones that we're talking about, the ones that you were talking about, which live underneath the bridges and grab people, and they were basically, because of geography, they would give the same name to a different entity. So a troll would be a troll which would live under a bridge in a certain country like Germany, somewhere like that. But a troll in like Netherlands, somewhere like that, would be actually a size of a mountain. It would be huge. So it's all kind of like a case of how it's interpreted. The wording is a funny thing. It gets very confusing when people name something which has different meanings to different people in different countries, and yet the same name. It's got a different interpretation on that, on the actual entity itself. Just to recap quickly with animals, we're intrinsically different, not because of self-gratification. I don't believe, because my dog will lick its nuts and be perfectly happy. I believe what really sets us apart is an awareness of our own consciousness, our own reality, our own being. That's what sets us apart. A dog will happily, any animal will happily get up, go about its day, feed, it will defecate, it will breed, and carry on with its life, the whole of its life, and it won't ever stop and think, hang on, why am I here? Hang on, well, why am I kept in this? Why am I kept in this enclosure?
I hate to interrupt you, Phil, but there are some people that never wonder, never question.
Yes,
just cattle. Okay.
Yeah. But that is Jungian, if you like. That's his way of thinking. It had to actually be aware of oneself, which sets us apart from the animal kingdom. That's one thing which I don't think it's self-gratification so much, but
delay of self-gratification. Like the dog is not going to choose not to lick its nuts. It feels like licking its nuts, it's going to lick its nuts. Okay, like you could choose not to lick your nuts, and see that would be delaying the gratification for later.
So you're kind of talking about the use of will to repress.
Well, not only that, like only humans will choose not to eat or eat something they don't like. Okay, if an animal doesn't like it, they won't eat it. Yeah. If they'll eat until they're full, or even some will overeat because they just want to fill. They'll eat till they're full. They don't like. They just gratify their. I don't want to use the Dune analogy, but I will. When he puts his hand in the box. And he has to use his willpower to stay there because it hurts. It's that point back. because
Yeah,
that's how he proved that he was human and actually had control over his impulses.
Mhm.
And don't you
Yeah.
think illumination is basically the knowledge of that? Because if you look at the Garden of Eden, when they ate the apple, before they ate the apple, God's commandment to Adam was name all the bees, bird, name everything. So Adam was naming everything. We won't go to Lilith and all that stuff. We'll just go with Eve. They ate the apple. They realized they were naked. So don't you think they were having sex and just doing whatever and wandering around, just grabbing, oh, that looks good, grabbing it, eating it off the trees, just everything flowered and fruited in season. So it was a wonderful paradise. They had no higher thought of just the here and the now. They didn't understand time. They did not understand anything. They didn't even realize they were naked. So being illuminated, they were like God then, which they knew good and evil. They had a choice. That was what God's gift to us was. Well, gift, curse, however you look at it. But like, if you notice, the angels who never fell, they don't have a choice. They must just obey. And the ones who basically fell, they do the exact opposite of what they were created for. And then, like, you're talking about the stone stuff, mountains and stuff. Have you ever studied about the Nephilim, the angels that came? And,
Yeah.
Don't you think a lot of them were Nephilim?
The fallen angels?
Yeah, well, their children. Because there is
a school of thought which say that, with Bigfoot and
well, I'm not saying that. I think they're animals. I think they're just a type of animal cryptid, or like look at duck-billed platypus. I mean, the Loch Ness monster. We have like several very similar monsters here in the United States. We got a Loch Ness monster called Nellie up at Raystown Lake. It's been sighted. It's basically reptilian, has a long neck. There's some grainy pictures of it. What if it's mostly underwater, hides, only comes up at night? You could eat algae or fish. Who knows? I mean, it's big as a small boat. I mean, unless you actually drain the lake, which is almost impossible. I mean, they're spotted up in the Great Lakes. Like all over.
One of the most fascinating you got is the that frogman monster in a lake.
Yeah, that's where's that at? I can't remember now.
That's
is that like Georgia or Florida?
Do you know what? I interviewed a guy ages ago called Wade. He was from the Blackfoot tribe. He was an elder, and he actually saw it when he was a kid with his mate. I think it was with his brother, funny enough. They were young kids, and they went to this lake. It was a huge lake, massive. And when they were fishing, and it got to dusk time, and they saw these two red eyes poking up through the water, and then when it came up out the water, it had no word of a lie. This is the video's up there on the library. It had these like scale, like almost like the dinosaur scales that go around the back, just down the spine, the large plates. It had those on its back as it got up out the water. And I said to Wade, how tall was it? It said, I don't know. It didn't come out all the way. As soon as it saw us, it just went back into the water again. But he said, I saw it, Phil. I saw it. And, yeah. So that's an interesting cryptid. There is in the States a lot. Lake Tahoe, I think, has got one as well, isn't it?
I think. That's down south of me. That'd be like way south.
Yeah. Yeah.
The closest one we have is in Adams County, PA. It's a giant crab monster. And it'd be basically like a crab, but almost human size. It stands about 6 feet tall. There's a bunch of pictures. They have a bunch of smaller crabs, which I'm sitting there thinking, wow, that'd be awesome. You wouldn't have to shell it just once. You have enough to eat. Instead of like shelling 100 crabs, get like a little something.
Oh, and Champ as well. Larry Luttrell said Great Lakes has Champ.
Yes, Champion. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, so just recapping on the ghost hunting. I think one of the most one of the best ghost hunts I've ever been on myself was in Wales. Funny enough, I was in North Wales, and I went out into the woods, into a cemetery, because the cemetery is like, it's not used anymore. It's abandoned, overgrown. It's like, you know. And funny enough, cemeteries always seem to be a right winner with me. I always get something in cemeteries, you know. And you're not the only one as well, Matt. I hear voices. Yeah, I hear voices, and you know, some people. I do question myself sometimes, but those voices do tell me things. You know, they make sense. Not often they talk, but when they do, they make sense, and I take heed of them. But in a cemetery in North Wales, I had to go hiking through this forest and that to get there, because I saw it on an ordnance survey map, and I thought, oh, I've got to get there. When I did, I found that the area had this patches of mist around it, and the mist, as I went walking along, the mist would kind of take shape into, and this is the funny part, into a person, into people shape, and that really sort of struck me as being, because I tried to debunk it myself. I couldn't get anything on camera. It wouldn't show up on camera. This mist wouldn't. It didn't help because it was about 11 o'clock at night, so quite late. But so with low light and the wide aperture of the lens, it just didn't take in the mist. There wasn't enough light being sucked in to get it. But I saw it, and this mist kind of had it had a shape, a form, and it had a movement like people. And there was in total 4 people formed out of this mist as it was walking along. And I went walking towards it, and it would just walk across the cemetery. You could see it moving across my plane of my sight of vision, and that was really odd. And also the voice I got as well, and that was another one of Don't Go Near, Phil, and it also says my name, Phil, don't go near, which I didn't. I came away. Another time I had a voice in a cemetery was at Camberwell Cemetery, and I did video this, and I did get it on there. Very well known Camberwell Cemetery in London, very old. I mean, we're talking, 14th, 15th century, maybe a little bit later actually, but round about that time. Very old. Again, it's funny. Part of it is alive and kicking, pardon the pun, you know, but is an active cemetery. Then the other half of Camberwell is overgrown and lost to time. And I went, of course, to the lost in time part. Daytime, didn't go at night, daytime. And as I was walking along, the paths are very overgrown, I heard voices chattering, like a conversation. Like somebody was talking, a group of people were talking, but in like it's whispers. And as I turned, I then heard, Phil, beware. As I turned around and I caught it on video, these 3 orbs came across from in front of me towards me, going at an angle, and then just disappeared. And at the same time, when I looked at the footage afterwards, and I didn't see this, but on the footage I did, there was this quadrupedal creature that looked like a dog or hyena. We don't have hyenas over here, but like a dog, but a strange looking dog. And as it moved from behind a tombstone, you could then see it morphing out. And as it morphed out, you could see the brush behind and the tree coming through it as it morphed out. And I think that's the voice that was saying, Phil, beware. And I caught that on camera. And I caught also the voice as well, because I asked people, could you hear that? Can you hear that? You know, and they said, yeah. There's people that could hear it as well. Very strange, very credible, very strange in my book, anyway.
Well, don't you think a lot of, like Tobias, he's been doing at Paranormal Witchcraft, he's been doing a whole series on various different, how the investigator affects the experience or the haunting. And he's been doing a bunch of different tests with equipment and such. And quite interesting, actually, because like, and it is true that certain spirits will be drawn to you because of similar traumatic experiences that you've had. Because like energy attracts like energy. And you see this like energy vampires and other types of ghosts and hauntings. So, but yeah, maybe something there was drawing you or warning you away.
Matt, do you think with what we're dealing with ghosts and what we're actively researching and trying to find out what they are, if I was to ask you to sum up your findings thus far, do you think that they are either people that have passed away and are coming back, or in limbo or purgatory in a way where they're stuck here? Or do you think there's something else?
That's a tough question.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a tough answer.
Okay.
I think there are place hauntings. Gettysburg's a prime example, especially around the battlefield, Devil's Den, wherever Pickett's Charge. You actually will regularly see soldiers, people hear cannon fire, even though there's no reenactors in the field. The lady in Ardennes, same thing with the Germans in the battle over there. I think certain things will stay in the environment. And I think that is one class of haunting. I think there is something other, intelligent, sometimes evil, sometimes not so evil. It just usually has its own personality or purpose. I think that you're familiar with egregores and or thought forms. And then Natalie, she's in your head. What if, like in the Egyptian tradition, they did everything to basically house an energetic copy. Your soul is gone. Let's say your soul leaves and goes to wherever. There's still that shard of energy that is still you. That's still your thoughts, and it slowly decays over time. That's why you see like ghosts, like the orbs are usually older ghosts, whereas the full apparitions are usually more recent ghosts. And as their energy dissipates or they slowly break apart, they get less and less intelligent and less active. Do you know Pete Wren by any chance?
Sorry?
Do you know Pete Wren by any chance?
Pete Wren.
Yeah, he was from Britain, and then he's basically the Catholic Church's head investigator for their exorcists and whatnot. He's in Canada right now. He lives in Canada.
Oh.
He
No.
runs the Ghost Gear store. He's like a personal mentor of mine. He likes to mentor me and ask me, I'd like field him questions and oddball stuff.
Yeah.
But he basically gets paid by the Catholic Church to investigate their things before they do blessings or whatnot. And he's got he's been on all kind of podcasts. I'll hook him up. Maybe he can come on your show sometime.
Yeah, that would be really cool. That would be very cool.
A whole bunch of books and podcasts. He's actually like really, really like smart and deep into this.
So do you think? Well, thank you for that, Matt. That would must have been very
I told you I can hook you up with Agent Kelly as well. He was the Golden Dawn for a while. He personally mentored me for a couple years.
He's with the OTO, is he?
Yes. Well, I'm not sure he's with anything now. His wife died, and he's living with his kids.
Yeah.
And he's way up there now. I'm not sure how old he is, but he's just a fascinating man. I always loved talking to him. We got into a disagreement over politics, so we ended up parting ways over that. But because the political state
politics sucks.
Screwed.
Politics sucks, man. Politics sucks. Don't get involved with politics.
Just we're not even going to go there. It'll either get better or it'll get worse. At the end of the day, it's not going to matter too much to me or you or anybody. I still got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
not going to affect the price of eggs in the supermarket if I'm unhappy.
Yeah. And as much as we contemplate life and we contemplate the deceased and we contemplate some of the most absurd things that go on in this world that we can't understand, the most frustrating thing is really that a lot of the people in power, the gatekeepers, the people that know, are these politicians, I'm afraid, or the people behind the politicians.
I don't think they know. I think they're just paid off and paid shills.
Yeah, do you know, Matt? I think with UFOs, I'm pretty sure now, I'm absolutely 100% sure that they don't know what it is they're dealing with. I think it's a load of old tosh when they say that, because they were going to say that Big T, you know, Big T over there was going to release all the disclosure documentation, and you know, it's going to be July the 8th. You know, a whistleblower said, well, not whistleblower, but a guy that was in the know, and it's not happening. As far as we know, it is not going to happen. Disclosure's
Phil,
not going to happen because they don't know what it is, Matt.
let me tell you something, Phil. They are not going to do anything that's going to destabilize the system. As long as they're invested in the system, they're not going to do anything to upset the cart. Like NASA, they actually have proof now that there's a city on another planet. They've actually can see city lights on another planet. I mean, that's just crazy. You know, like there's a whole realm of, like, they are not going to do anything or allow anything that's going to change the status quo or tilt the cart. Period.
Yeah.
That's over there. That's over here. The stables and structures are not going to change for another about 5 to 10 years. But just remember, numerologically, we are in the final year before a reset. Next year is 1. This year is 9. So this is a year of closing in a 10-year cycle.
Yeah, because we had that in 2012 with the Sumerian calendar, didn't we? The end of the Sumerian calendar, and then it was going to say, "Oh yeah, here we go. It's going to be a reset 2012." Which actually, do you know what? I think 2012 was a very special year, and I think it was a year of resetting. Things changed from 2012 onwards. Things did change.
Well, look at us. We're in the age of Aquarius. I mean,
Yeah.
the dawning age of Aquarius was in the 60s. We'll be in the age of Aquarius for like another 900 some years. The spirit of the age is communication, and free thought, fast movement, you know, fluidity. And look what we got. We're talking on this. Growing up, I never thought I'd be talking to you guys on the other side of the planet, basically.
No.
I mean, like in real time.
I know.
I can do it on my phone too, you know.
I know, me too, because we're about the same age, aren't we? You know, you're a little bit older, I think.
Growing up, I would go to my grandma's and lay in front of with my cousins, this giant radio with a record player in the center. It had like a little flip over lid. And we would listen to the Lone Ranger, Flash Gordon, the Shadow Knows.
Flash Gordon's brilliant.
And like we would listen to the radio as we were drawing and coloring on some paper with crayons.
Yeah.
And that was like a big thing. We didn't have TV. So it's like we have internet. I mean, I remember AOA dial-up. I haven't seen dial-up in forever. I mean, I remember always keeping a few quarters like whenever we were in the town, so I could, or a little card where I could do long distance calling on a payphone. You know, I haven't seen any of that in like forever. I don't even know where there's a payphone at. And I live in town.
Do you know 56? I remember having 56K dial-up modem, and it used to be. Do you remember where you used to when it connected? Yeah. Connected. You could hear it actually dialing. Any pictures you brought down? Yeah, not pornography. You know, obviously I wouldn't do it. But any pictures, it would like kind of come down in slices, wouldn't it?
Yeah, just sit there and wait.
Slices.
Yeah.
Do you know, I had a scary thing with that. Shall I tell you the scary thing I had with 56K dial-up? I'll tell you. Now you ask. I was in the kitchen. My computer, don't ask me why. I had the computer in the kitchen on the side, right? And 2 speakers on it as well. And no flat panel, people. It was a proper, computer screen, cathode ray type, screen. And anyway, it was dialing up because I was like trying to get onto the internet to find out about, I think it was the local council or something. They had a website it was early days of internet, and that was a wonderful time because it was like, proper cowboy and Indians internet was then. It was like kind of, you could go on to different blogs and different chat rooms totally without any need to get permissions or you just go straight on and you can say pretty much whatever you wanted. Is that marvelous? Now it's just censored.
Yeah, I don't want to change it, but I saw Keith Evans's comment. Have I ever done any paranormal research at Harpers Ferry, Maryland? I have not. I've been to Harpers Ferry several times, and there's great restaurants there. I've not done any paranormal research at Harpers Ferry, but I have done paranormal research at the John Brown House here in Chambersburg, because John Brown was from Chambersburg, which is not even about 10 miles from Shippensburg, and the old Franklin County Jail. So, yes. But Chambersburg is actually linked to Harpers Ferry because John Brown used to live here. And he actually left here to go raid Harpers Ferry. So, just a little fact.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I saw it saying I'd let him know.
I had
John Brown House is somewhat haunted, which I don't think it's John Brown. It's probably from the burning of Chambersburg. Because it and the Masonic Lodge and the Carmel Theater and the Franklin County Jail were the only structures that survived because the Confederates burned all of Chambersburg. It was the first town completely torched. It was one of the reasons why the Unions did the whole March to the Sea and started burning everything when they went south, because of the retaliation to the burning of Chambersburg.
I've got some photos that you sent me. Right. Well, I'll tell you what was really interesting is this one. Now, this features quite a bit. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the background so that it's a little less confusing.
Okay.
Just so that it's a little bit more defined, the picture is.
Right.
Here we go. Right, that one all day. Right, yeah. Now, there seems to be quite a lot of interest with this staircase. What's going on with the staircase? Where is it, man?
Okay, well, it's in Walnut Hill Manor, which is in Waynesboro. It is an Edwardian-style manor. It was built late 1800s. It used to basically be a florist. The guy made his money being a florist. And it used to be filled with greenhouses. And he actually developed several strains of roses that we have today that were developed by him. And blue was his favorite color, and we got blue on the spirit box and an EVP. But the one lady of the house, she basically haunts the upstairs bedroom, and when there's a party, she will come down the stairs, and her apparition's been seen. Now, he's usually in the basement, and there's been like apparitions and activity in the basement. They actually feel it's actually from his ghost, because that used to be his workshop. He used to sit down there and do the cross-pollination stuff. If you go back to the other picture real quick, I'll explain. If you look, Tasha, and that's Tobias, they actually got a XLS image from the ghost tube app. And then if you see the laser grid on the bottom, you see how that blue dot is going off on the laser grid on top? It's here. That's actually showing a hit on the laser grid system. So actually showing a temper change in the thing. I don't know if you can tell if the REM pod's blinking or not, but the REM pod was going on and off. But mostly the XLS stayed at the stairs. At 4:30 in the morning, well, we had a Gatsby party. I, of course, did so much stuff going on, I didn't get dressed up, but most of the other people did. And we played cards and we drank till late in the morning. Because what's paranormal investigation without food? I mean, you can't have good paranormal investigation without food.
Oh. So
But
you
yeah,
got did you get any vocalization, or did you get any footsteps on the staircase? Did you get anything? like
not
that?
this time. On our previous investigation there, we actually had the cheaper REM pods that went off in sequence going up the stairs. And me and Robert were in the other room because we actually were in the drinking room. We did that last investigation with the XLS. We actually had a window open by itself twice, and it got XLS image of the guy in the chair. And he used to sit in that chair and open that window because he could smell the flowers from the greenhouse. So we kind of like focused on the activity in that room. This one we basically focused on the stairs because our first investigation, I was going to the bathroom and I saw a smoky figure come around the banister into the kitchen at the foot of the stairs. And several other guests in the party were also there. We were honored to be the first ghost hunters to actually investigate Walnut Hill Manor. And we went in completely blind. So we were going back to Walnut Hill Manor and do an exploration of the grounds. So,
Okay. And you get to stay there. You get to stay there all night, do you, Matt? All
Yeah.
night? Or? Oh, that's good.
I know the owners, Seth and Anastasia. They're both great people. And it's fun for them living in a haunted house.
Yeah, I was going to say, have they relayed any really interesting accounts to you? Have they?
Oh, well, you can listen to our YouTube channel. I actually have a 2-part interview with them for about 30 minutes. And I also have a video from me doing an after investigation the first time there.
Yeah,
So,
I'm just going to.
yeah, like all different kind of stuff goes on there. The obelisk the first time there came up flower names nonstop the whole time, which was, I don't know if ever, I'm sure you guys you don't actually know about obelisks.
Okay, this is Matt's YouTube channel. Okay, so if you people click on it, remember subscribe. Okay, to his channel. He's got some really interesting stuff on here. FCJ Part 1, FCJ Part 2.
I got an SB7 from Taboo. The ghosts speak Chinese. That is funny.
Okay.
They probably do. That's why I can't understand them.
Stone Chapel Cemetery as well.
Oh, I've been there several times. It's actually a great place to go. We literally had the ghost tube app keep telling us closer, closer, come forward, and then it said ancient iron came up on the thing. I think I have a picture of it somewhere, and we were there. I was just messing around because it's snowy, and the caretakers come up and told us they were looking for the baby cemetery where they put the unbaptized babies, because the new priest there felt that it was wrong for them to bury them in the unconsecrated area. He wanted to consecrate the baby cemetery. So they actually had a ground imaging radar come out, and they actually found a witch section where they actually buried a bunch of witches with iron crosses on top of them to keep them from coming out of the grave. But this cemetery is from the 1700s. It's huge. Yeah. It's like a couple square miles. Like you can get lost in it.
Yeah.
You see a picture of my envoy, which I actually brought it out for show and tell. I prefer this.
Can I play this one, Matt? Can I play this?
Go ahead.
Do you mind? Let's have a look.
I don't mind.
Well, Robert, did you experience anything wonderful at the Sanctuary of the Strange?
I had a couple of EMP hits, or EMF hits, not EMP. Whenever I was in the boiler room. Other than that, it was pretty quiet overall. I didn't get much.
I got a little bit with the devices. Well, Robert, did you experience anything wonderful?
Cool.
Yeah, I did like the Sanctuary of the Strange, by the way, even though it wasn't that active. But the previous week, they had a psychic medium come over and cross over to the spirits, and I'm pretty sure she blessed everything because you can just feel it. The only place that was not really blessed was the boiler room. And I don't know if it translated well with on the GoPro, but our dot projection, we actually had something rippling them. and moving in the room with us. And it was kind of neat. And that's where they had EVPs from Big Mac Paranormal the week before. So that was actually quite cool.
For people as well, could just put up your Facebook as well, Matt. Let's have a look. I'll get it up. Find it. I did have it here. How do you find? You know, did laser that? Was it? Is it SLS that laser?
Oh, the XLS is actually a regular laptop thing. It's like a tablet with a whole thing. I got it from Paranormal Activity for like $500, and I don't like those people, and I kind of like. I broke a bolt tightening it, and I mentioned it in the comments 4 out of 5. And then they basically attacked me and said I could not buy anything from their store again. Rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, well, you know, if you're going to be unpleasant, I just won't deal with you anymore.
Yeah.
That's how that went. They did a whole bunch of weird stuff with the software, the Connect software. They had it like tweaked in a kind of a weird way. Like we ended up basically having to tear the whole tablet's operating system down, re-download Connect. And like it took us like almost 2 weeks to figure it out and get it all put back together.
Yeah. Okay, so Facebook, it's Blue Mountain Paranormal. It's a private group, but I'm sure if you go and fill in the form,
there is a reason why it's private. I have been involved in multiple different groups, both witchcraft and whatever. And if you leave as a public group, you'll get nonstop spam. Click on me, I want to have sex, and all kind of like just weirdo type ads and people selling stuff. Like I don't want any of that. I don't want to deal with that. That's why it's a private group. I will approve you, or Adam or Robert will approve you. We just want to make sure that you are a real person.
Yeah.
That is fair enough. You can be weird as long as you're a real person. You have no idea. I mean, like what Tobias does with the Brotherhood of Male Witches, and like some of the stuff he goes through is because like he has like 10, 12,000 people in there. Like me, I don't want to spend all day just quashing stuff and taking down posts, and like because I did that before with the core witchcraft and Harold and his stuff. And it was just a giant nightmare all the time. It's like, why? Like, I don't care if people join my group or not. The only reason why I've been pushing the YouTube channel is I have to get up to a certain level to cross off one of the things on my bucket list. And that is the Octagonal House in Kentucky. So, and they turned me down last time for private investigation because I didn't have enough social media presence. So, we're working on it.
Wow, that's annoying, isn't it? Sort of.
It is.
It's like you're not famous enough. You can't investigate here.
Well, they want 2 years of experience. It's a museum, and there's like, well, it's a huge property with 2 different graveyards. It's just a lot there. The guy who built it was a Mason. He built it according to sacred geometry to actually trap energies in the Octagonal House. Okay. So there's like a whole bunch of different, you can look it up online. But see, at Blue Mountain Paranormal, we have like, they approached me to join this group. And I became one of the founding members of this group. And like part of the things we do is we hand out our business cards. There's a whole bunch of occult shops and those type of people and pastors and churches that have our cards. And like they will give us a call if there's something going on. Like we got a call for a Bigfoot out in St. Thomas, which is kind of rare in that area. But like the King Street apartment investigation, we were allowed to post it as long as we didn't give the actual address. And the land management agent lady is the one who contacted us because she got sexually grabbed by something. And I'm like, okay, whatever, we're going over here. This is an old building. We're sitting there, and the other people are moving out, but they're not out yet. We're standing there, and literally stuff started flying off the mantle into the center of the room in front of like the four of us. And like the lady wouldn't even come in the building. She just says, "Here's the key, here's the apartment number, go for it." And I was like, "Oh, well, this is interesting." Like at first I was like, what? At first you don't really realize what's happening. And then it's like Alan's like, "No, it came from there, look, watch." And they're like, "What?" Another knob just flew off the thing in the middle of the room. Like, okay, I guess we got the place to look. You know. And of course, one of the previous tenants hung herself in the room there. She's like a cat lady. And then that came out in the investigation. We had some neat XLS and had a lot of battery drain and stuff. We were able to basically, I think she left because one of the other investigators we had with us, he's a druid. He basically invited her into an object to take with him and put her somewhere where she'd be more at peace. What else? That was an interesting one. But we have, like, I have a non-disclosure agreement that I will sign with people that I will not discuss or share pictures of their haunting. Like the trailer park down the street here. Well, it's not really down the street. It's probably about 15 miles, 20 miles from here. But the trailer park is on an Indian burial ground. And like we were called there by their parents because they basically found some skulls and stuff. The cops didn't care because they know it's an Indian burial ground. I'll just put it back. But they started messing with some of the bones and stuff that were coming out of the ground. And you wonder why there's shadows and you're getting scratched and bit. Not exactly demonic, but maybe you should, like, you know, put that back. Phil's laughing.
Yeah.
Oh, I found a skull coming in the backyard. Yeah, I'm a 16-year-old boy. I'm going to clean it up and put it on my manual and play with it with my computer. Oh, I got a skull. Oh, hey, man, everybody's getting bit. We see weird shadows in the house. What's wrong? Okay. Okay. It's fine.
It's kind of a no-brainer, isn't it, really?
Oh, is that a real human skull? Yeah, where'd you find it? Backyard? Oh, okay. Well, this investigation turned an interesting thing. Let me do some checking.
Well, just
I
like,
didn't have a
you know,
jawbone,
like,
though, so that's why I couldn't talk, you know.
it's just like every day to find a skull in your back garden, isn't it, really?
Well, it's more common than you think around here, but
Really?
still. I mean, you got to remember, this place was a pioneering settlement. It had a fighting here during the Whiskey Rebellion. Jeb Stewart led his cavalry up around through here as he's going through Michelin State Forest. John Brown had his house, like, in his foundry thing right there at Michelin State Forest on Lincoln Highway that the main Confederate Army marched down to Gettysburg in. You have the French and Indian War with multiple massacres. The Indians killed each other off for years before the white man started killing people off here. So, you know. So basically, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of undocumented cemeteries and just stuff around. Like, it's not like common, but it does happen.
And not unusual at the same
It's not
time.
like unusual, you know. I mean, look at Europe. I mean, they still find stuff over there all the time.
Oh, yeah,
It's one of those things, though, isn't it? It's like if I found a skull in the garden, I was just out. I was just out. Perhaps I was out like weeding, or you know, just like kind of seeing how many carrots were doing out there, and I came across a skull.
Yeah.
If that then set off a series of events, which was paranormal in nature, something I could not understand, things moving, things being thrown off the shelf. Then
That was a different place, by the way. And the thing is, it was a slow escalation.
This is
didn't
just
happen overnight. It was like almost like 4 or 5 months later that we got the call. So it had been sitting there and they've been playing with it for a while, and things just slowly started building there.
basically, my question is this, and it's to everybody. My question is this: if we die and move on to another place, whichever place you choose, okay, Valhalla, to heaven, to anywhere else, then what vestige of us is left in that skull that was dug up, which then causes disarray and problems? What part of that person which has passed on is left behind? Or do we, is it just a case that we don't move on and we stay watching our remnants of ourselves? Do you see what I mean? What is it there?
I've thought about this actually. You familiar with Metatron's cube and the concept of the whole, everything's kind of like an energy matrix, and the vibration of it is what holds matter together. What if, because we have a whole bunch of stuff we're now learning about quantum entanglement, what if our bones and the remnants of our body as they're decaying are still connected in some quantum way with our energy signature or something that is connected to us still? Because there's actually that occult principle, once together, always together. Sympathy and like sympathetic magic and that kind of stuff. So the whole question then would be, if they are bound together, what's more bound together than my bones? I mean, throughout time, human bones have been, what should we call it? Attached.
Yeah. Once again, they're used as
upstairs.
Yeah.
I have a hag's hand hanging on my wall. I don't know if you know what a hag's hand is.
A hag hand?
Hag's hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it's actually a real human hand. It has documentation with it. It came from somewhere in West Virginia. She was a wise woman who died. They cut her hand off, and it's preserved in a box with mullein, which is, well, probably now they would tell you, mullein is basically can use be graveyard dirt. They actually mix it with mullein because mullein is like one of the more necromantic type herbs. And her hand was dipped, her bones were dipped in wax. And you can light off her fingers to summon her spirit to help you with necromancy. So, the whole thing is, what part of her is attached to her spirit that you can summon her spirit with her bones?
Yeah.
I mean, you can go to Picky Weeds up here in PA, and they actually have a collection of human bones that you can get. And they are, I'd say, one of the more darker people will use human bones in their magic, in their occult. So,
oh yeah, I mean John Dee in the 16th or 15th century, wasn't it? He was a big.
I love
big
John
one
Dee.
on necromancer.
The father of angel magic,
Enochian. He was.
Yes.
He wrote the book on Enochian magic.
He did,
didn't he?
yes.
Yeah. That was actually quite interesting. He was.
If you notice,
talking with angels,
it's all mathematical tables. I mean, they all add up as an angels. You get the subsets of the angels that are part of that angelic group by breaking the numbers in the chain. And then you can actually, all the angels together equal together.
This brings us back to the geometry, ancient geometry.
Yes. Like I said,
so
Saturn.
I mean, most people have heard of the Fibonacci spiral in nature. That's what most people have. Nearly everyone's heard of that. But geometry. There's a school of thought which believes that buildings, if the building is like Matt was saying about that building, he wasn't allowed to go in because they deemed him, no, you're not that well known in social media, so you can't come in. You know, I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. And I think
Well,
it's
I can
quite
go in. I just can't go in as a private investigator.
Yeah, that's
Like I
insulting.
want it
I
to be
don't like
just
that.
me and my little team of misfits.
Yeah, it's quite insulting, man. You know, because there's a lot of people out there which are genuine people, good researchers, and just because they haven't got their lights and name and they've got a channel with like a zillion followers, doesn't mean they're any less of a good researcher. You know,
Lonaconee, Maryland. Yes, Keith. I used to live in Flintstone, Maryland. That's where I grew up in Cumberland, Maryland. I have been to Lonaconee. That is another dark place that has a lot of haunted place.
let's have a look. My grandmother lived in a little mining town called Lonely Coney, Maryland, in a haunted house when she was a child. Does Matt live near Lonely Coney, Maryland? Do you?
I live in Shippensburg. It's about 2 hours away, Lonaconee.
Okay.
But I have been to Lonaconee, though.
Ah, okay. Right. Interesting.
Yes.
Oh, funny name, Lonely Coney. That's actually a really sweet name.
Small town. That whole area is like super depressed with jobs at the moment. But, you know, this is how it is.
Yeah. I think I don't think it's just a US thing. I think you know, at the moment everyone's sort of a bit super depressed with stuff going on at the moment. You know.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, it all seems to be you know, slowly but surely shuttered up doors and shuttered up windows and shops going and all kinds of things. And the only things which really stay open are either betting shops.
Have we really recovered from COVID? Because I remember Walmart used to be 24 hours. There used to be all kinds
Don't
of
mention a C word, Matt.
restaurants.
Don't mention a C word. Don't mention a C word.
All right. I won't, because there's a bunch of
Time. We recovered from that time.
Don't even go there. I mean, I have a whole bunch of thoughts on that too.
Yeah, but
so.
I know what you mean. Yeah, the 2019, 2020 event, 2020 event. Let's say
Yeah, I'll just say it that way. But getting back to ghost hunting stuff, and I might actually charge you both to help me with this experiment. I've been doing research for a while on humidity changing the hauntings or changing the frequency or the intensity of a haunting. Like the more humid it is, it seems like the less phenomena happen. And the more dry it is, like if you run or dehumidifier, or the less humid it is, it seems like activity is increased. Now, I don't know, like I don't have a good control group because I don't have access to a haunted location on a regular basis to have a, like, what do you call it? A zero phenomenon.
Yeah.
But like I don't have a control. Like this is the background. This is, you know, the baseline. I don't have no way to set a baseline. But I actually feel that when it's raining or there's more humidity, it seems like there is a lot less phenomena that happens. Whereas if you run dehumidifier and it's like a dry, crisp air, it seems like the more active the phenomena is.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Yes. And it's like EMF pumps. Like I've made multiple EMF pumps. Like I've been using the Ghost Daddy of them, which actually works really well. And like if you notice hauntings and activity spikes around high tension wires, around a lot of like electric lines. Well, the evidence is not actually out yet, but I feel that using EMF pumps will increase electromagnetic voice phenomena. And that's another little theory that I've been researching and investigating in these little ghost hunts. So, does electromagnetic fields or a larger electromagnetic field, let's say, does it increase the electromagnetic voice phenomena?
Interesting.
Yes, I thought so. I've also been experimenting with AI too, so you know, and see if ghosts can interact with AI. But I really can't really figure out how to make that like work.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got something planned that way. And I'll tell you what, I have got something
Yeah.
planned that way, Matt.
Mhm.
And I think it might be a good way of us. Yeah, I'll contact you personally and see,
Yeah,
run
we'll
it
talk
past you
about
and
it.
see what you think.
Well,
Hmm.
Keith just mentioned the Florida humidity is high most of the time. So any paranormal activity takes place during high humidity conditions.
Mm.
And see, the thing is, there is stuff that actually would still happen during the rain. But if it was dry or the humidity was less, would it increase the phenomenon? Because it rains here too. It's 100% humidity. Humidity would be the same in Florida this year. It's just more high there. So the question is, would activity increase with a lower humidity level? Or like if it's raining out, would, of course, things do happen during the rain. But would it happen
Yeah.
often or a stronger degree?
Mm.
Tobias,
Interesting.
it makes sense to me, Matt. Maybe. How deep
Do
does the
you
rabbit hole go?
do you your team you take with you? Do
Mhm.
you take any? Are they all open or believers to the paranormal, or do you ever take any skeptics with you?
Sparky doesn't believe in any of it. He believes when you die, that's it. He doesn't believe in magic, the occult. I mean, he's like agnostic. I mean, he doesn't believe in God or the devil. He's very, like he'll go just to poke around. Like he doesn't go to all of them, but like, he's never seen a ghost. He's one of those rare individuals that nothing ever happens around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are people
Yeah.
like that. Which begs us to the thing is, does our perception change reality? And if we are perceiving that, does it actually make it so? Because ghost hunting and other such stuff is actually perceptual based. And on top of that, like it's all about the experience, and the people are part of the experience. Like Tasha is a psychic, and Clay both. They have psychic ability. Tasha was choked at the Franklin County Jail. Adam got scratched in the women's ward at the Franklin County Jail. So it's like, there is like different things that have happened. So like I said, I've taken like on the public ghost hunts that you see on the events tab, they are open to everybody who wants to come. Like I'm having a birthday bash at Natty Glow. Anybody who wants to come to Natty Glow can come. I have a whole bunch of loaner gear that I give out that they can pick and choose from. It's the cheaper gear. Just put it where it is. I got a whole bunch of cheaper type loaner gear that I built myself, or bought from Pete Rent's store Ghost Gear, and that way they can go and have their experience. They get issued a logbook. They write down their experience, record their experiences. I got like 3-4 cheap voice recorders that they can have and they can go do. I got loaner dowsing rods. So if you never dowsed before or use a pendulum, here you go. Go out and experience. Because at the end of the day, this is actually about experiencing something or the experience of it. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the ghosts are real or all this other stuff. It's just semantics. Like the light phenomena. Light changes its pattern based on if it's observed or not. So how can we tell that by us observing the ghost, it doesn't change their behavior?
I mean, do you think it is a case that almost like I mean, if it's a group, almost like an egregore, that these things are a manifestation of our intent to see them, to want to see them?
I think yes and no. I mean, it's like the angels and demons. They exist within us and without us. I mean, they exist in us part and time outside of our own continuity. I like to think of it as playing Paper Mario. You ever played Paper Mario?
No.
Okay. Well, Mario, like you're 2-dimensional scrolling. And then there are different aspects. You can hit the button and you all of a sudden see everything in 3-dimensional. So you can't go just side to side. You can't go back and forth. And then,
Mario. Yeah, the mushrooms jumping.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you said paper, not
Paper Mario.
Yeah.
It's one of the games. Paper Mario.
I haven't played that one. I played the normal one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in Paper Mario, you get through the puzzles. You're 2-dimensional. Then you hit like a power up. Then all of a sudden, the board becomes 3-dimensional. So instead of being blocked, you can go around like this. What if reality is kind of like that? We're just trapped in these 3-4 dimensions, and the stuff there in the 5th or 6th dimension, and we don't really know. Like, we don't understand that they're just going around us. Like, we only see the wall in front of us. We don't actually see it. We can just walk around the wall because we only see it one way.
I'm currently, you got a point, because I'm currently reading The Simulation Hypothesis by Rizwan Virk.
That's a good book. I read it here.
Yeah, I just
I have it upstairs actually. It's on my bookshelf.
Yeah, he's a good writer, isn't he? He makes it very easy for a lame brain like myself to get.
I have fell asleep a couple times reading it and had to backtrack. But I do actually have a couple bookmarks in that, and we'll discuss that later. So
yeah. I think we will, because there's a couple of and what you were saying about third dimension, it springs to my mind the 2-dimensional part of things, and maybe ghosts.
And that's why I mentioned that, because I've read that book that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about that. Like I said, I'm a weirdo, and I read way too much. I should watch TV instead.
Yeah. No,
Nice laughing.
I any day. I don't even own a TV, so I was any day.
Yeah, somebody's like, "Well, I pay for our HBO and Netflix, a bunch of other like their kids were my 2 teenage boys like, oh, watching this now. Like, when do you see me watch TV? Well, you don't. Yeah, that's right, I don't. I got a Kindle app, and Kindle with books on my little, paperweight, which I read all the time. But like watch TV, like I have a hard time just watching Tobias's stuff. Like time wise, it's just I'm just slammed all the time. It's always busy. Then there's stuff I like to read, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
No, but now we want to talk about this experiential reality. Now, Ghost Tube and the Obelisk. I did a video on the comparison. I don't know if I did a comparison with the Envoy in this. All right, I'll tell you a little story. We're at Natty Glow, and there's a couple different teams out. There are 3 of these boxes, these obelisks. They actually pop up words. Well, I decided to use the theater. I decided to summon the ghost to me, because they keep. If you've ever been somewhere, now you'll probably tell you, and there's something there in the shadows, but it won't approach you. But you can tell that there's something wrong with the shadows, and the shadows are alive. Well, after a few hours of this, I decided, you know what? I'm just going to summon them to my black mirror, my scrying mirror. And I do the whole notion layout, candles, incense, the whole 9 yards. And that is not something I will do if it's actually occupied or a residential structure. Mostly because I don't want to summon anything there that would be difficult to get rid of or be problematic for the people who live there. So I start this summoning ritual to summon them to my black mirror, my obsidian mirror. All 3 of these boxes went off with the same words: metaphysics and witchcraft. And they were in separate parts of the building, and none of them knew, what I was doing. They actually Matt, what are you doing? Because I didn't tell anybody. I just brought out my kit and just started setting it up and doing it. But and the thing is, there is something to it. But I prefer this. This is my favorite one. And you can actually consider it like an electronic Ouija. I don't know if you can see it right or not, but you can do ABC, you can do numbers, you can do little facial expressions. But what I like about it is you can set up, you can actually get the baseline. temperature, touch, and EMF. And like it'll tell you what it hits. This is the sensitivity button, but it'll tell you if it's a tap, EMF, or temperature change. Actually sets it off. And these little three knobs are the adjustments for each three of the sensors. Therefore, you actually know that, hey, something touched it, and it's yes, no, or a temperature drop caused it to go off and say this or that. I mostly use it in the yes, no function, but it gives you that hit that, hey, EMF just went off, it said yes. Oh, temperature drop just happened, it said this in response to your question. And I find that to be more scientific or more controllable than just having some little electronic box just pull stuff out of the air.
That is the problem, isn't it? That's the problem. Well, can you let people know what that's called, that box?
Oh, this is called an Envoy, and it's actually a ghost stop. They run about almost $500, I guess. And then this is the Obelisk, which they run about $500 to $600. Blue Mountain Paranormal, we are an affiliate. I think you get 20% off if you use our link, which I don't think I even have posted up. But the thing is, it's like there is a ton of different stuff.
Yeah.
I guess it's another one of my.
That's the thing, Matt. That's the thing. There's a ton of different. I've been on ghost hunts before, and there's like, and I've got equipment. You know, I've got stuff that I take. One of the things that I do enjoy taking, especially if I'm going to be in a room, is an animator. Animator tests for can test for and if there's a gust of wind, it will detect that air movement, and it will give a readout in miles per hour, kilometers an hour, how fast that's traveling, that wind, that gust of wind. Also give you readouts on temperature, ambient temperature as well. Animator, very, very useful.
Bad Phil, bad Phil. Now I'm gonna have to buy one. I don't have
You're gonna have to get one. You're gonna have to get one. I've got it. I'll tell you. I'll show you it. It's really good.
Bad Phil. Now I'm gonna have to get one. I didn't need one. They're going to complain because another piece of gear.
I was going to say another piece of gear for the collection.
Yeah, so you're very much. We're very similar. We're very similar. I like my toys. I love my toys.
I do too.
But you know what the best toy is, don't you? The best toy.
Your mind, yeah.
Yeah.
I lost mine a while ago. Hopefully, I'll find it on one of my ghost hunts.
It doesn't matter what we've got in our pocket, so to speak. What does matter is we always sense, like you said before about the shadows, and you're saying to Natalie, we always sense well before any equipment if there's something there. Always got that sense. That's what I was talking about. It's called an animator.
Nice.
Great. Slightest little breeze, and what it'll do if I turn it on, you go turn the light on, and it'll give you a readout. There you go.
Neat.
Very sensitive. You know, it's got one of these. It's not exactly ball bearings or anything. It's got a very low friction.
Well, I imagine it spins and creates electric current. Then it tells you how it is. Oh.
But yeah, well, you know, that's come up trumps quite a few times. I've done a paranormal investigation with the GAPS team, which is Ghost and Paranormal Society, and that did kick off in a closed room. And also it's got memory on it as well, Matt. So anytime it does blow and you're away from it, you can have a look on the display and go, oh, right, wow. Well, did anyone open the window? No one opened the window. Close the door? No, it was sealed. Wow. Where'd that come from then? Yeah. So it's just another kind of way of, like you said, you know,
Mm-hmm.
trying to prove that something's there, you know.
Yeah. Phil,
what
I
we-
reviewed 6 hours of footage to find like 20, 30 seconds of a hit. Okay.
Yeah.
What does that tell
yeah.
you?
Yeah. I know
And
these
Keith,
things.
it seems like Keith had the same issue with the Envoy. Only the yes no seemed to work consistently. I have tried slowing it down. There's another little button you can slow down the selection for the words, but it just seems like it takes too long to actually write out anything. Like the yes no and the face of how you feeling are like the two biggest parts of that. But Keith is definitely right. The yes no seems like it's the only thing that consistently gives results. I will say I really liked Tobias's Epoch box. I've been thinking about getting me one. I even looked it up, even though it's a yes no device as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Was it called?
Epoch. E-P-O-K or O-C. It's like
Okay,
a big blue box he had.
I
in the
know.
one picture.
I know it.
And it
Yeah,
says yes,
yeah.
no. All ominously, and like the lights.
I
like that.
What do you think about the using conventional 35mm cameras instead of digital? Do you think that helps?
I don't think it really matters. Like, I used to have 35mm. I used to drop it off. I think with the film camera, there is more likelihood of like light leakage and other forms of like developmental errors or whatnot. Whereas with digital, it's just right there.
Yeah.
I mean, digital you can easily review. Another interesting thing, especially at Walnut Hill Manor, the XLS image is corrupted on several different times there, both with me and another investigative team. And on my thermal imaging camera, we got a picture of the anomaly on the stairs. All the other ones are fine, but the picture of the anomaly was corrupted and it couldn't be played. So,
yeah.
the thing is, if it doesn't want to be seen, it might be able to affect electronic devices.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I wouldn't be about my thermal. I've got an adapter for a phone. It's a flare, which goes into the phone, and you can, but so thermals are really good, useful, good for cryptids and stuff like that as well. Especially at night. But
I would
it's
love to have
rubbish.
a FLIR. They're like $5,000 to $6,000. And for the aluminum, I would use one. I mean, I might share it with you if we want to get half.
Yeah,
it's like a lot of money. I mean, I have night vision goggles upstairs, but it's a little bit expensive. And I have infrared camera, a full spectrum camera, 2 infrared cameras now, the Phasmi and another cheaper one.
Yeah.
So it's like this stuff gets expensive really quickly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is like almost $200 just for this little thing, and
oh no, for sure.
Yeah.
It's not a it's it's an expensive hobby. It's an expensive hobby, and you look at some of the organised groups, Matt. That you go on ghost hunts, or they're like charging over here $45 a person, or £45 per person.
Yeah. Anyway,
there's something behind you, Matt. Matt, something behind you.
Probably is. There's always something behind me. I got a dog here at my foot. My other son's laying on the couch listening to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of. I've got some video. I wanted to ask you while you're on. Right. Yeah. Oh no! Look at yes.
Yeah.
Is it that one?
Yeah, it's that one. It's Fred the Ted. I named him Freddie. He's my paranormal research investigator partner.
Good camera.
His clothes are a little bit too small, and I gotta do some Velcro stuff to make it all fit right. But I actually ordered him a Confederate uniform. I'm actually having a lady make him a Confederate and a Union uniform, and we're going to start dressing him up to act to be to where we're going. So he'll actually be in different costumes. And you get a little camera and stuff. And he's a Boo Bear.
Have you named him?
Yeah, Fred.
I'm Boo Buddy. What's your name?
And you can set the time.
Just tickled my paws.
He has a whole bunch of different sensors in him. And he has 160 different phrases. He is the creme de la creme of the trigger objects. and he's like my
Yeah.
favorite trigger object. But I thought I'd just introduce Freddie the Teddy. You know, be my friend.
He looks like he looks like he's you know, kind of like he looks like he's full of it, you know. He's big.
I was going to say, you know, we were saying earlier about some things having a vibe. He definitely looks like he's got a character.
He's got attitude, doesn't he? That bear's got attitude. You can see that.
I got a little vest. With vest, I wore stuff from Build-A-Bear was too small, so I gotta get like a bigger like vest and outfit for him. But yes, like eventually we have his little glasses, his little hat, and we'll like change him up for where we're going. And I got a little thing on a tripod so I can actually like pose him with a little piece of coat hanger wire. So I'm gonna put a little Velcro so we can actually hold like, you know, ghost hunting devices and take little pictures of where Fred's been. If you don't have fun with it, you know. And I've been criticized for not being serious about stuff. So it's like, oh, I don't know why.
I just can imagine going on the ghost hunt and seeing a group of people, and there'll be you on a chair talking to the bear.
Yeah, remember, I'm like 400 some pounds, 6'3". I'm like 2 feet, like I'm wide across too. I'm like a moving mountain. And
Matt, I wouldn't tell you to your face, you bonkers. I wouldn't go up. I wouldn't say to your face, look, stop talking to that bear, mate. I wouldn't say that, would I? I'd just tell other people.
Well, it talks back. What are you talking about? You know, it can learn new phrases the more you interact with it because it has like a little AI in it. So, you know.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That would be the beauty of it with AI. You know, get that kind of linked up.
Well, it has 500 words and 160 phrases. It has a temperature sensor. It can tell if the temperature goes up or lower. It actually has a catchphrase for that trigger. It has EMF detection in it. And it has touch vibration sensors in its paws, feet, and main body. So it has like a whole bunch of better forever. Like it's almost $400 to spare. So it better do some stuff, you know.
No, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I've been fascinated by this bit of video you sent me, and I wondered, like, what it is. Let's let you know. It's I think it's before you went on an investigation, and it's at night time, and all the people are by the car. Your team are by the car.
Oh, okay.
So, right.
With our group, we are currently in the bank parking lot down from Captain Bender's. This is footage from the XLS camera. Meredith, the tour guide, had just asked the spirit to try to pick up her candle lantern. And as soon as she did that, we started getting Stickman readings, of course, or XLS hits, on Stickman trying to actually picking up the candle lantern. Of course, you see our trip line and our swipe board. There are other things. Saw several orbs later on the video. And there's a few other anonymous hits along the old barn wall further down the alleyway.
Okay. You've fallen over.
No, it's in there.
Is it the shock of the video, isn't it?
No, Tobias asked to see the glasses. I have them in the bag behind me because I have a whole bag of gear stuff here. I'll have to dig them out later. But no, that's we just started something new this month. Then my transmission went out, so we had to reschedule. But we're going to do a monthly Ghosts and Grub. And the video you see is from one of the places we've been multiple times called Captain Bender's. It is a haunted tavern. There's a whole bunch of EMF phenomena that happens. One of the ghosts of a little boy likes to play with the one old style race car trigger object I have. And I didn't bring it with me that last time, and he actually told me so, because they will remember you. But it's basically right on the Antietam. And Meredith runs the Sharpsburg Haunted Tours and the Shepherdstown Haunted Tours. They're on both sides of the river, Antietam. where the battle was fought. And even though it's a bank parking lot today, during the Battle of Antietam, that was a farmhouse, and it was used for field surgery. They were bringing people and cutting them up, and they'd bring soldiers from the battlefield and just leave them there if they're going to die. They just left them there to die, or cut their arms and legs off and just set them out there on a blanket to see what happens with them. So during the battle, there was literally thousands of people laying there dying. Well, not thousands, say hundreds of people laying there dying in that bank parking lot. And so it's like, well, Cotton Bear's even pre-Civil War. And some of the ghosts there are also pre-Civil War. The boy who fell down the stairs and broke his neck, he basically haunts the game room. And there is like, on the portal box, like I have a regular portal box with noise speakers and stuff, you can literally hear a whole room full of voices talking to each other. Even if it's only us in there, you'll literally hear like 6 or 7 distinct voices, and they'll be talking back and forth among themselves. It happens, but it's like Holtz actually explored this phenomenon quite a good bit. But that is from that area. That's from, like, there's other videos of EMF footage. Like EMF will spike to red, and then you'll lose cell phone signal until the EMF passes. It's just really weird.
Yeah. No, sure. Are you okay? Because there's some people with questions in the chat.
Oh, yeah, feel them. It don't matter.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I've been looking at them too, so.
Okay. All right. Let's get this up. Right. Okay, then. Let's have a look and see what questions we've got on the chat. Have you ever been attacked by evil spirit?
Yes. Several times, actually. I've been bit. I've been scratched. I've gotten sick. So, yes.
Okay. Right. Is it oh, hang on. I've got another.
Covered that one. No, I have not.
Okay.
I've been to the battlefield and to Harper's Ferry and the museum there, and they have some great food down there. Trust me on that. But I've never actually done paranormal research down there.
Okay.
But I'm open to it.
Okay.
They said they have good food down there.
What did Matt think of Blair Witch Project? I did not like it, Keith said.
Well, when it first came out, long time ago, me and my buddies got our guns, went down there and got drunk in the Blair Witch Woods, looking for the Blair Witch, trying to summon her, and we actually got nothing.
Oh, you went down there?
Yeah, I'm from Maryland. Of course, I went down there. You know, used to work not far from there, actually, for Pittman's Tree Land Service back in the day. So, you know, the whole thing is, it's like, Blair Witch Project was interesting.
Did you get a chance to talk to any locals, about it?
No, not really. I mean, I mostly drank. Passed out house, drunk in my tent, Had a big campfire. I mean, the only spirits I talked to was the vodka and the orange juice I was drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to put you that way, but
Yeah. I see a stone pile over there. Quick, everybody!
Where? Like American Teen bitches, we're good.
Yeah, it sounds like a good evening. Sounds like a really good evening.
Remember, I'm a redneck. Okay. I am highly armed. I've been on Bigfoot hunts and deep wood explorations before, and like on the farm, I used to carry a shotgun at 9 years old and do a several mile trap line. I've been stalked by mountain lions and stuff before, and I killed my first deer when I was like 6 years old. So it's like that was just a normal life, So, but no, I mean, basically yes.
Yeah, see, we don't have that. I can, no. Keith Evans,
No,
Matt,
it
was
was
your
a completely
corruption
different
mini
disc.
disc on your
It
flirt?
was a completely different disc, and the ones before it and the ones after it were fine. Only the picture of the anomaly was corrupted. And if you ask Sean, he's part of Blue Mountain Paranormal, but he's not really one of us. He has his own Afterlife Paranormal group. His XLS team also corrupted. And they actually had several other things of theirs that was corrupted. Like I did a time lapse rather than a giant video on the XLS tablet itself. And I've been so busy I haven't had to review it. But the images of the XLS hits and whatnot were on a GoPro that I'd set up behind on a tripod. They weren't from the actual devices themselves. They were just monitoring the device with camera. Because it seems like when you get a direct picture of the entity there, a lot of times it will be corrupted or gone. Because they got an XLS in the basement that was corrupted. I got one in the chair in the drawing room that was corrupted. And several of the photos of that little short video of the REM pods going up and down, going off up and down the stairs before I had the laser grid, they also got corrupted and wouldn't play back. So there's something that is messing with the electronics there. So, and I think it's actually conscious. But I could be wrong.
I was going to say, do you think that's more likely to be an entity than a spirit, or do you think there's,
I don't think the lady in the house likes to be filmed. Because it's only the lady ghost.
Okay.
Yeah. And who says it's the husband sitting, or the guy sitting in the chair with the window open smelling the flowers? That seems to be more like a woman thing to do.
That does make sense.
So, but I don't know. Like, and see, that's the thing with ghost hunting. There could or could not be something there. There could be something there trying to communicate with us. There could be something there that doesn't want to communicate with us. And, like, we really don't know. I mean, like, we could hypothesize. I like to go back to the raw data, EMF, temperature fluctuations, vibrationary sensors. Because I do have several different vibrationary sensors, that like cat's balls. That is the cheapest, most effective form of vibration sensor ever. You get a little crystal stand, put a little cat ball in there. They're cheap, ubiquitous, spread them all over the place. Any little bump. Oh, look, something else over there. Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
I also have a couple of the ones with a little meter stick that goes up and down. It'll actually leave a little mark.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It'll leave a little mark on the little up or down thing for so long. And to, like, when it hits, it gets a hit. I used Sanctuary of the Strange, but I didn't really get anything there. Temperature was impossible to read there, mostly because it was winter and high ceilings, and like the temperature fluctuations were just too crazy to really like count or discount.
Yeah.
The only real evidence there was the couple EVPs I got with the asylum gurney. They used to take people through the tunnel transport, and had EMF go off, and I had the music box go off, which is an EMF based. I had a few motion sensor stuff goes off, which is light shadow based. But I didn't actually get anything I would consider to be like hard evidence or interactive.
Do you think it matters? Do you think it matters, Matt, that if you're in a group or solo, do you think it's more like Keith Evans? He tends to go out solo a lot of times. Do you think that these entities, because they seem to interact with us on a personal level, we don't see them, we go into a room, we have a group, and it's like, oh no, did you get anything happen for you? No, nothing happened to me. No, nothing. The moment the last person leaves the room is when they get on the shoulder.
Yes and no. Like, I would use Suicide Bridge, but I don't think I sent you any of those photos. And it was a public hunt, so like we had a bunch of people there. And I'm not sure they'd really want their be shared, but we all saw something down there at Eisenhower Bridge. So I don't know if that matters much. But like Saxbridge, like there's something demonic there, something that just hates you, and you know it. So it's like it's a feeling. I mean, I've been there solo, experienced stuff there solo. I've actually experienced stuff in a group there. It's kind of strange and weird. There is EMF activity there. There is like weird things that happen, but at the end of the day, it is a feeling. And we're going to hair off on the side again about ultrasound and infrasound. But, you know, high EMF and certain vibrational frequencies of sound will make you feel dread and other forms of effects to you because everything is vibration. So the thing is, maybe something there is causing things to vibrate in a slightly off-kilt manner that provokes that sense of dread or unease.
Yeah.
The infrasound, I think, does that.
Yeah, infrasound. Yeah, infrasound. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a deep bass that you can't hear almost, isn't it? Kind of.
Yeah, like a like now you're shooting force too. Bang, bang.
Yeah. Animals use it, don't they? Crocodiles use it, and
well, sharks use sound, sonar. Like the thing is, like, what if there is something there that we're not really detecting? Like EVP. I could be talking to you and recording. That's why I love my new EVP microphone that I got from Ghost Stop. Even though I don't even talk about how much I spent for it, because I spent way too much. But I have an EVP mic that's also from Ghost Stop. It lets you hear, it turns electromagnetic fields into sound. So you can hear the hum of things.
Oh, that's cool.
I love just listening to the hum of things. Like, you know, everything has its own hum. The refrigerator, the microwave, like, you know, all of my little ghost devices have their own little EMF hum. And it's just really cool to sit there and explore with that. It's only like $20 for the actual microphone. I actually put it into a portable guitar amp and was using that.
Oh, so it's a microphone that you plug into an MP3 recorder.
Yes, or anything.
Oh, that's
it's
so
in
cool.
my personal bag upstairs.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah, man. Like I have the newer. Like before with the cheaper one I had, even though it has better sound than the new one. You can't hear what it's recording. You have to play it back. With the new one, I hear what it's recording in real time.
Okay.
Yeah. And see, what I plan on doing is buying myself a sound puck from Ghost Stop, so I'll have a light that goes off whenever a sound is picked up. That way I can know to go over and timestamp it. Like if you see the video of Tobias's page, every time I got a hit, I'd say Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, you know, and keep going. Then when I'm playing it back, I hear that mark. I know to reverse it and listen again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
If somebody makes a noise, I'll say Jason noise, or I'll actually like try to differentiate like who did that. Like somebody dropped something, you hear a clatter. You know, we clatter, you know, so and so, or you know, I'll try to like mark any events that happen, you know, in the audio. That way when I'm playing it back, I have a reference, you know.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
But see, the thing is, it's all about, ghost hunting is two different ways. You can go the psychic and the whole, this is the impression of the place. I'm going to use Nataglow for an example. Nataglow is, the whole town used to be like 10,000 people that used to live there. They have a ghost town trail that's 9 miles for the old mining towns. It got the name Nataglow because the air glowed green from all the gases released from the mining activity there. Okay, stop thinking about it. There were 10,000 people, 2 different graveyards. One got washed away, so there's no record of who's buried there anymore. There's a mine shaft that they walled up when it collapsed. They didn't even bother looking if they were alive or not. They just sealed it up, leaving people down there, whether alive or dead, who knows. But like the town, like the theater is haunted, yes. But all the ghosts go from the theater to other parts of the town. Like a lot of the ghosts there don't really interact. They will interact, but not in a way that we understand, because they're going to buildings and places and different events that happened that are near the theater or by the theater, but back and forth, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're still living their time period. They're still traveling. The theater is a dangerous place. There is no running water in it. You have to use a porta potty outhouse outside. There's only electricity in one room. Okay, so if you get EMF anywhere in that building, because there is no power lines, you know it's something strange, because there is nothing in there that will create electromagnetic fields. There is no cameras. Like there's almost all the wiring has been mostly stripped out by scavengers. So like, there's not even electrical wiring in most of the building. So the question is, if you get electromagnetic field disturbances and other types of and moving electromagnetic field disturbances at that, would you consider that evidence?
I would, because it's not naturally occurring.
Right, and it's not. There is no other explanation. Like Captain Bender's is a full-on restaurant. I mean, there could be something creating weird electromagnetic fields. I mean, it's a full bar. They got all kinds of different stuff. It's been remodeled multiple times. Who knows? But there is a lot of weird electromagnetic voice phenomena. There is EVP, EMF.
There's an awful lot of.
We recorded a 12-degree temperature drop, and there's no air-conditioned vents in that room.
Yeah, so 12 degrees is a lot.
I mean, 2-3 is typical for air conditioning or heater kicking on. You see a 2 to 3 degree drop, but it actually dropped like 12 degrees in about 30 seconds.
Yeah,
that chilled everybody sitting at the table.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's unusual.
It could be. It could be something strange, an air vent, something unknown, but there is no air vent. And like if you see some of the Captain Bender videos, like pagodas, we're going there to Meredith on the 27th. We got a table reserved down at Burnt Secrets, which is the speakeasy in the basement. Al Capone supposedly beat a guy to death with a baseball bat in the basement there, but that's just a rumor. We don't know that for sure.
Okay.
But there used to be, Prohibition in America. I don't know how much you know about American history.
Yeah.
Prohibition happened. They outlawed alcohol.
Yeah.
And nobody could drink alcohol. So you know what that meant. And then everybody brewed alcohol and everybody went underground.
Yeah.
If you guys live closer, I would take you up to the Knock. The Knock is awesome. They did a great job restoring that place. It's called the Knock because it's a barbershop. And they actually have people that are hired from the bar to cut your hair and be in that barbershop. And what you do is you go knock on the wall at a certain rap, and the wall would open up. They would slide the wall open, and you go down the stairs into prostitution, gambling, and drinking. Because they used prostitutes down there. They had, gambling and roulette, and they had a full-on bar. It was mob owned. So, of course there's going to be ghosts down there, and there's going to be weird stuff that happens. That's just a couple hours away. That's up, it's on the way to Philly, which is Philly's a big place. It's, let's say Mechanicsburg, I think it is. Or, it's near almost toward Doylesville, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. It's just one of those deals. Same with pagodas. Pagodas was basically a speakeasy and a mob den. I don't know about the prostitution, but I did know they drank and gambled down there.
Yeah.
So, and collected money or not collected money, who knows? But Ghost MD go down there quite a good bit, and Burnt Secrets and Pagodas is on the West Virginia Haunted Trail in Shepherdsburg, and they're right on the other side of Antietam Battlefield, on the Confederate side.
Okay. Keith said the green phosphorescence in the air may be harmful pollutant.
Well, possibly, but it doesn't glow green anymore because they're not mining.
Yeah.
But they had, I think, 11 mines at one time, pulling iron and coal out of the ground. So it's above Johnstown.
Okay.
If that helps your audience any.
Matt, can you? I'm just going to put up again because we're getting up 2.5 hours now. We are
okay,
2.5 hours. Okay. Now, don't go anywhere. I'm just going to put up your YouTube again, just so that people know where to find you. This is your Facebook. Let's get this up first. Okay. Right, so people watching, and if you're watching this on recorded, please go and Blue Mountain Paranormal on Facebook. Okay, you do have to fill in like a questionnaire, I guess, but that's to stop a lot of. It's good for the group actually to do it match way and have it private is good, because if you're genuine about paranormal and you're genuine about research, that's what you want. You want a group like this. You want a group where there's no basically look idiots. You don't want idiots who just like post a load of old crap on there. So it's a better way of doing it. So you do have to probably fill in a bit of a questionnaire, only a short, brief one, and then Matt will let you in, and boom. So please go and check that out. And I will bring up.
We have several administrators, so one of us will let you in. The main reason for the questionnaire is to basically prove that you're a real human being and not just some bot trying to either sell something or promote lascivious services. Because believe it or not, that is a very big problem on Facebook.
Yeah.
If you've seen some of my Instagram messages, I'm like, what in the world?
Well, do you know? I kid you not when I say I've got on my messenger like kind of a spam filter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get a lot of messages which are basically pornography or links to pornography.
Basically, yeah.
Just links to pornography. That's all it is. It's just like complete, And I saw on Facebook, crikey, I don't know how they got away with it. This post came up, and I was like just going through, because you go through social media to see what's about, what's happening, and and this post came up, and it was pure pornography of this girl in all kinds of positions, showing everything, and I'm like, hang on, this is Facebook, isn't it? I'm on Facebook. I'm sure I'm on Facebook, and it was on there, and I was like, how the hell did they get that on there? Obviously it's taken down now, but must have done. I don't know, but yeah, it's just it's rampant, absolutely rampant now. It's not good. Because I mean, kids watch, to go on Facebook and stuff, so it's not great.
The thing is, it's like, what kind of content do you want to be? Like, even though I'm a goofball, I try to be, reputable. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, the demon's coming for me. I'm so scared.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I deal with a lot of Christian panic, which is just that, Christian panic. And it's like, I don't want to say like to be hostile, but it's like, I like to present like, this is what it is. Like, I had somebody criticizing the EMF readings and how it could be this, it could be that, and how it's false. And I'm like, it doesn't really matter if it's false or not. This is what I got. This is what I experienced. And you could just, whatever. It doesn't really matter if you believe me or not. It doesn't really matter if whatever. It just doesn't. What can I say? I mean, it just, like that one video, the doll room. That's actually in Nataglow. Like, I have a dead bell, and the ghost loves the dead bell. We sat there for a couple hours and just sat there, and it would answer questions, 1 ding, 2 ding, and it was like crazy.
Okay, hang on, let's have a look. It's on the shorts, is it this one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, we lost a lot of our footage. We've had several people who were going to do the YouTube stuff.
Like, it's like making the noise.
I'm confused.
What are you confused about? You were talking about your grandmother. What about your grandmother? Tell us more about her.
That's Robert in the
Is she the one
background.
that
by the way.
donated all these Barbies?
I said no.
Oh, wow. Don't be so aggressive about it. I'm just curious.
So, if your grandmother didn't donate the Barbies, what's going on with your grandmother? Tell us about her.
All I know is there's entirely too much traffic on this road.
At 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
It's supposed to start.
Thirst.
What are you thirsting for?
Ice cold beer.
That was Adam and Robert's session. I was going a solo by
This
myself.
doll is creepy.
Okay.
Huh?
This doll is creepy.
This is their
What do you
footage. So there
thirst
goes
for?
to
You said you were
this
thirsty.
split perspective.
What is it that you thirst for?
Hard.
Something hard?
The ghost wants crack.
Why
Hard
is he here?
is actually liquor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm the comedic relief.
Okay.
I didn't mean to offend you. So you said you wanted something hard to drink. Did you mean liquor? Are you talking about alcohol?
If you are, do you have a preferred type? Like whiskey, gin,
Rum?
tequila, vodka? You don't hear it? I'll laugh if it goes over your ear next to it. Like, it's like making that noise.
I'm confused.
What are you
Oh,
yeah.
confused about?
That
You're
was
talking
good.
about your grandmother.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
But there again, like the thing is, like there is no context to what the stuff will pull out. Like these programs and like the obelisk, there is no way to see how it's getting the words or the data that it's giving you.
Yeah.
You know, whereas the
Yeah.
envoy, you actually can have like a yes, no, or like the dead bell, you know, it's EMF. I think the dead bell was actually dead at that time. It ran out of power. So we had a lot of power drain issues in that building.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. Right. What I'm going to do, Matt, I'm going to wrap up now, but if you could stay on just for a minute, I just want to have a word with you afterwards about some
Okay, sure.
other stuff.
I don't
Okay. I just got a couple of things just about the occult. That's all,
Mhm.
just about the occult side of things, because I'm just interested. So I shall say to people at home, thank you very, very much indeed for watching. Do appreciate it. And until next time, Matt's going to come on again. Hopefully, you will come on again, Matt.
Oh,
for us?
always. Just give me a
Excellent.
date and time, and if I'm off that day, I'll make time for you.
Oh, that's brilliant, honestly, because we've only just scratched the surface. I feel we've only just scratched the surface.
I don't know now if you know, but me and Phil talk on Messenger. We get these really deep talks. Like if people
Yeah.
saw some of our talks, they'd be like, "Yep, two weirdos, birds of a feather, flock together." You know?
We do, don't we?
If
I
he was
know.
closer, he'd be drinking my black coffee with me, being like, "Yes, you know, my soul's as dark as my coffee, black."
We have some really crazy chats. I enjoy them though. I do enjoy them. I don't think that will stop. I think that will just continue.
Well,
on.
it's like it's very rare to meet somebody who's like well read, well versed, and
that's kind of you.
articulate.
Thank you. Same. I
And,
feel
like,
the same. I feel the same.
I find very few people that I can actually sit down and talk about a lot of this stuff with. Like it's either they're kind of Christian and then they're like, "Oh wow, it's like evil necromancy," or it's they just blow you off and like, "Oh, why are you even thinking this?" And it's just stupid. Or you have the other flip of the nose, like they just look at you like, like the deer in the headlight look.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, obviously you're not going to read that book.
No.
Obviously, you never thought about, that before.
Yeah. Because we didn't really get a chance. I wanted to talk a bit more about geometry, but we didn't really get a chance to hammer away at that. So we will have you on again. I'd love to have you on again, Matt, if that's okay. And
any quick questions about the occult? Spit right now, and then we'll end it. That way you can. I know you wanted to ask me a question, so ask it.
Yeah. If anyone's got any questions, if anyone's got any questions at all, just stick them in. All right. And then we can hit Matt with them.
Yes.
Have you got any questions, Nat?
Not really. I mean, I love Natalie already. I mean, I didn't know she's a goth girl, but I love goth girls, and I've watched her on several other podcasts, so I know her more than she probably knows me. I talk to you on Messenger all the time, so
Yeah.
No, at this moment in time, I don't have any direct questions. I think you've answered more or less everything that I thought of that came up in the conversation, at least. So,
okay, well, one thing about the occult, this is actually something there's two thoughts on this. I don't know if you ever remember Christopher Lee. He said about the occult, you only need one or two books, the right books.
Yeah.
And on top of that, most of the occult leads to madness.
Yeah.
And the reason why the occult leads to madness is it amplifies what's in you already. And if you cannot handle it, it will destroy you. It is either a make or break thing. And when you start opening that door, you may not be able to ever shut it. I've opened doors to myself that I will never be able to shut. And the thing is, that one verse in the Bible, and it applies along everything. If you seek it, you shall find it. Ask and be given, knock and it shall open. Well, if you open the door, you may not close it. If you're given something, you may not get it back or give it back.
I mean, that's the thing, Matt. I've got the questions I've got for you. I don't want to hit these with you on a public platform live.
Well, you could. I don't mind, but if you want to do it,
you got about Lucifer. I've got questions on like the Luciferian connection with some stuff. Also about the now there is just briefly there is a thing that I've read this and it's about the higher echelons of Freemasonry. You go into the Palladium. Now, when they spoke about the Palladium, inner circle, it was mentioned by Leo Taxil as a hoax. He was deep debunked as a hoax. This was about the Palladium. This was in the 1890s. Sort of a fabrication he done of it, Order of the Palladium. But I just wanted to sort of like ask you more about that, because I don't think it's so much of a hoax, probably.
See, that's a very hard question, and it's not for the reasons you think. I personally don't believe it. I think it's just kind of like made up drivel. Mostly for the reason the Masonic tradition is about building better men. It's about learning. It's about studying. It's about illumination. The Luciferian tie-in is kind of like an off branch, but Lucifer is the one who brought enlightenment. And there is actually a lot of good evidence to prove that Statue of Liberty is actually a picture of Lucifer, and a statue of Lucifer. And because Lucifer is also the same archetype of Prometheus, and like there are certain like archetypes that run like throughout our collective memories or unconscious. I mean, however you want to call it. About Joseph Campbell has a whole bunch of work about this, which we'll talk about some other time. But Freemasonry as a whole, to bring it back to Freemasonry, we are bound by oath as a brotherhood and a fraternity. Now, like I've pretty much vowed never always to heal, never conceal, and never to reveal any of the secrets of Freemasonry have been taught or will be taught to me. And I will honor that vow. I would suggest if you want to find out, join yourself. Now, Freemasonry is very compartmentalized. It's all oral tradition. It's all passed down all the way from the motherland. Like our lodge has stuff and relics and all the way going back over to Europe in like 14th, 15th century. I think your Freemasonry goes back even way, way more back than ours, because ours was brought over about 250 years ago. So the thing is, like, there are subsets. Like you have the Odd Fellows. They were a break-off of the Masonic tradition. They espouse a lot of the Masonic stuff, but it was changed to their own, to fit their own ideology or their own type of flavor, of philosophy, you might say. You see that because it has an hourglass in their staff, because it's remember your time ends. Is one of the big teachings of the Odd Fellows. And like there's a whole bunch of different stuff with the Odd Fellows that, even though it is Masonic and Masonic in nature, it was changed to fit them and their truth. The Golden Dawn was a break off of the Masonic tradition. They basically went to, that's why the Golden Dawn is all Egyptian based. They used a lot of the Egyptian based stuff of the Masonic order, and they broke it off, and they wanted to make it more esoteric. They felt the Masons had departed the spiritual path, and the Golden Dawn was basically them breaking off to make a spiritual Masonic tradition. And a lot of their teachings are from Masonic works, because you have
the OTO was kind
that
of
was
like
Aleister
more
Crowley.
mainstream.
That was Aleister Crowley. Osiris, Thoth, Horus. Thoth, because Aleister Crowley added destruction, because he saw everything had to be destroyed to be remade. And he added the Apophis, which is a destroyer, too. And Satan is the destroyer in the destroyer archetype. He is basically opposite God and Kether, which is Kether is the starry crown, the seed of God, where Satan is the ruler on the opposite end. Not Lucifer, but Satan is the adversary, because he opposes everything. He is that which basically destroys everything. It's
not Satan is not as an entity as such. It's more a symbol of rebellion.
Yes, but see, the thing is also an entity in itself. How to describe it? Like Satan is an entity, but he's basically a archetype. He's a power, you might say. The adversary, he who opposes. Like he basically is what causes creation to be destroyed or be unraveled, so to speak. Whereas if you notice in a lot of the Kabbalistic and Kabbalah type stuff, Kether, and the further you go up the tree of life, the more ordered, the more stable, and the more perfect it becomes until you reach the throne of God in the very center. And like the flaming path is going down between the pillars. And the pillars would be basically Jesus Christ is the center, which is 6. God the Father is 9, and the Holy Spirit is considered the 3. The 3 and the 6 alternate, becoming one and the other, because 3 always turns to 6 before it goes back to 3, whereas 9 always comes back onto itself. But we can get into that another time. We could have a whole podcast talking about sacred geometry and numerology.
We'll have to. We'll have to do it again, because I wanted to touch upon the Tarot of Bohemia and all kinds of stuff like that.
Back to the Masonic Lodge. You have the Templars. You have Freemason Scottish Rite, which is like 32 degrees. You have the Blue Lodge, which is what I'm part of, which is 3 levels, and then you can go do whatever. You have the Shriners, which is you have to be a Mason to be a Shriner. You have the Widow's Sons, which is like a biker gang.
Shriners are for Master Masons, aren't they? They can only join Shriners.
Well, you have to be a Master Mason before you join any of them. Master
Really?
Masons is the, well, stop and think about it. Once you become a Master Mason, you've learned how to do ritual. You spent at least a year in each grade. So you've memorized and know all the secret signs and symbols and stuff. So you actually, like, time you become a Master Mason, you know that they're trustworthy. You know that they are smart enough to handle whatever it is that you are doing. Like, normal people are not, like, there's a lot of people that become Masons, but if you're just a social Mason about being socialist and going in like the little cliques and stuff, that's as far as you'll go. Masonic is very compartmentalized. And like, I have mentors that teach me, and we sit there and talk about, you know, sacred geometry and mathematics and other forms of stuff. And like, we video chat off Google Link, and like, I have regular mentors that mentor me, and I should seek their knowledge because, you know, one day they're not going to be there, and it'll be my turn to share what I know to an apprentice Mason. And then, you know,
okay, what I'm going to do, Matt, look, not being bit, stay on, all right, stay on. Guys, what I'm going to do, I've got to, because it's coming up to 3 hours, and I'm going to get slapped if I keep going. Right, so Matt's going to be on again. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've taken something away from this. You have given, if you've been in the comments, thank you very much for giving the comments and sticking with us. And it's been, a hell of a good night. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. God bless.